Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, a day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze. It's Chris in the morning with your daily news.
Here we go, big finish, and good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down. A beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds. Woo, that moon is really bright today. Clouds have cleared out for a little bit. We'll see if more rain is on our way, and meteorologist Tim Root will let us know that here in just a little bit. But yeah, speaking of the moon, woo, full moon, some big moon news. If you missed it yesterday, we'll talk a little bit about that. Plus, we got a lot coming up today. Speaking of space and all that space stuff that happened yesterday, if you missed it, my gosh, boy, did you miss a launch. Oh, we'll talk about that here. SpaceX, maybe the biggest IPO ever. Initial public offerings, what that stands for. How much money does one company and one person need? That's my question. Also, there's more than one way to make money in this here world. Turns out if you've got a couple of cute labs, apparently you can make a living with that, just selling advertising space. What the heck does that look like? We'll have our daily dad jokes. Also, in some sweeter news, maybe not so sweet for, what is it, the Hershey Company or whatever company owns Kit Kat. A little bit of a heist involving some Kit Kat bars. What in the heck is going on there? We'll have 3 headlines and a lie as well today. And Sean Rebay, it's the first Thursday of the month, which means Sean Rebay will be in here, and we'll be talking to him, see what's going on with the city of Auburn. We don't do the Meddlers meeting every Tuesday. We had no Meddlers meeting this Tuesday. Actually, won't have a Meddlers meeting next Tuesday either, as it's the 2nd and the 4th Tuesdays now. So we'll check in with Sean, make sure we are up to date on all the things that are going on with the city of Auburn here. If you have any questions, you can let me know live at kahi.com or call 530-885-3565. Any questions for Sean? Any questions about city government in general? Maybe what's his favorite chewing gum flavor? I don't know. You can ask Sean anything. Send those questions in live at kahi.com or call 530-885-3565. Let me know what that is. Also, let me know your favorite Easter candy as well. Do you have a favorite Easter candy? What are our opinion on Peeps, everybody? Lord, we'll get into this a little bit later. Top Easter candies, because there is a ranking out amongst all the states in the U.S., which is the favorite candy per state. And California, probably not what you think. I would be shocked if anybody guessed what the top Easter candy for California is. I would not have picked this, and I don't know many people who would, but apparently for our state, this is the top candy. We'll talk about that. Also, what's the schedule for the astronauts today? Talk a lot about that. But before we get to all of that, my goodness, if today is your birthday, and shout out to my mother, happy stinking birthday to you, Mom, and to anybody else who might be having a birthday today. Also, to my parents today, happy anniversary. My parents got married on my mom's birthday, so only Dad, one date to remember there, but also if you forget that date, it's twice as bad. So happy anniversary and happy birthday to my mom, and happy anniversary to my parents. Yes, I did remember to get the card out, to purchase the cards, one, and then to actually get them in the mail, two, ahead of time. I got them in the mail about a week ago, maybe a little bit over a week ago. I was so proud of myself. My wife was gone at the time. She was out of the state helping to take care of her grandma. So I was sending pictures and video documentation of, one, I remember to get the cards, two, here's what the actual cards are, and three, documentation of me walking it down to the post office and putting them in the mailbox there. So they're off. Hopefully I haven't gotten a text or a call from my mom. I'll call her today and make sure that she got the cards, but there they are. So yes, what's that, producer? Yeah, I'm patting myself on the back. Yeah, I'll give myself a because I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at remembering to get those things out. So props to me. I'm going to give myself a self 5. There we go, for getting the cards out and in the mail and there on time. But again, happy birthday to you, Mom, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. If you have a birthday today, you share it with one Charlemagne, Frankish king, born on this day in 1747. Casanova Giovanni, Italian adventurer, born on this day in 1725. He had like 3 names after that, but I'm just going to say Casanova. Born on this day, 1725. Hans Christian Andersen, Danish novelist, short story writer, and poet. 1805. Buddy Epson, American actor and dancer. 1908. Was it Buddy Epson? Was he Beverly Hillbillies, I think? Was that him? Sir Alec Guinness, English actor, 1914. Jack Webb, American actor, director, producer, screenwriter, 1920. Marvin Gaye, American singer-songwriter, 1939. Dr. Demento. I remember the Dr. Demento show. Boy, that's a callback from back in the day. American radio host, 1941. Linda Hunt, American actress, 1945. Emmylou Harris. Oh, she's great. American singer and songwriter, 1947. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, I hope you have a fantastic day today on one of my favorite days. It's Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Anybody here grow up on peanut butter and jelly? That was the staple in my lunch for pretty much my entire school career. It was just nothing but peanut butter and jelly. I don't know if it was easier to make. That's what we had. But I never got tired of it. I always loved it. My wife is one who needs a variety in her food. She says, what does she say? She says, I have a closed palate. So whatever that means, that I can eat the same foods over and over again and not get tired of them. And that is true. I actually can do that. She needs the variety in her food. But I'm like, yeah, peanut butter sandwiches every day for pretty much most of my childhood and into my adult life. Yeah, I was okay with that. So happy Peanut Butter PB&J Day to you. It's also Reconciliation Day, World Autism Awareness Day. On this day in history, we have in 1513, Ponce de Leon got the first sight of Florida there. Ponce de Leon first sighted the coast of Florida. He mistook it for another island and named it La Florida because it was of the lush vegetation and because it was the Easter season. There we go. How about this one? In 1872, the traveling circus is born. P.T. Barnum, the master of the spectacle, opened his Great Moral Show in Brooklyn. This was the start of the massive traveling circus industry. And in 1902, the first movie theater, Electric Theater, the first full-time movie theater in the United States, opened in Los Angeles. Admission was just 10 cents for an hour-long program. 10 cents for an hour-long program back in 1902, the first movie theater in L.A. there. That's pretty incredible. And in 2005, Pope John Paul II passed away. Regardless of faith, his impact on global politics and his role in the fall of communism make for a powerful moment in history there. So 2005, passing of Pope John Paul II. Speaking of theaters, going to the theater, trying to line up a date night with my wife here. Going to see, we've got it on there, of seeing Project Hail Mary. A lot of space news going on. I had a chance to see it when I was in Idaho visiting some friends there over the weekend. And it's a pretty good movie. I would recommend it. I told my wife it's good enough that I would go back and see it again. And she's a big fan of the science fiction, so we'll see if we can go check that out. But if you're thinking about going out to the theaters, checking out a movie, Project Hail Mary with the Ryan Gosling there, not too bad. Today is also World Autism Awareness Day, a day to celebrate unique perspectives of those on the spectrum and focus on inclusion there. It's also National Ferret Day. Okay. Here we go. Ferrets here's a fun fact for you, were actually used by the aerospace industry and telephone companies to run cables through long pipes because they love to burrow. And National Reconciliation Day. Patch up old grudges. If there's anybody maybe you've been meaning to get a hold of and bury the hatchet, well, today is a great excuse to do that. Speaking of the aerospace industry running a lot of miles of cables, well, if you missed it yesterday, I made a note to tune in at about 3:30 Pacific time. It was about 6:30 on the East Coast there. Well, then you might have heard the sound of this.
4, 3, 2, booster ignition and liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
And boy, howdy, was that an event? Yeah, I kind of stopped everything that I was doing then and watched Artemis 2 lift off there. And it was pretty interesting as I was watching it. I don't know if anybody else has this same feeling or reaction when you're watching, just like, oh, please, nothing go wrong on this. Nothing go wrong on this. Now, I pulled it up last night around after we had dinner there. Had my wife and son sitting there, and I said, well, this is a pretty historic moment. Now with, of course, modern technology. I watched it on YouTube. It was streaming live on YouTube on many, many stations, and NASA, I watched NASA's stream of it. But to watch that rocket blast off, just like looking like back in the Apollo days, watching it arc up into the sky there, that big old plume of smoke following it, and hearing the countdown and hearing him narrate as it was going up, it was pretty impressive. But my wife, not so much. She says, you know what, I can't. I have a hard time watching that. The last time that I watched a spacecraft launch live, it blew up. For all of those that remember, and all the school kids back in the day watching the Challenger explosion there, she's like, apparently that she said, I did not know that was going to bring up some feelings for me there watching it live. And I said, well, actually, kind of interestingly enough, now that you mentioned it, when I was watching it, I kind of had this like moment that like, oh, I hope everything goes right. I hope nothing goes wrong. I hope we don't watch this just completely disintegrate in front of our eyes. And of course, I told her, I'm like, nope, I watched it. Everything was fine. But yeah, for I think any of us that were around that and saw that, boy, that was rough. Watching that, of course, all those many, many years ago. But very cool to watch Artemis 2 launch up in there up in Earth orbit right now. We'll talk about what their schedule is for today and what they're heading towards, about 10-day mission there a little bit later on. But before we get to all of that, meteorologist Tim Root needs to let us know what our weather is looking like. Is it clear enough out there where we can see him circling around? Maybe it is. But hey, Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Thursday weather forecast, clouds and spotty rain showers today. There'll be some sunshine and the high temperature 55 to 62, a northwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Clearing overnight, light breezes, about 41-42 for the low. It'll be nice on Friday, mostly sunny around 70. In the 70s, Easter weekend with mostly sunny skies. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:12 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have more events for the calendar. We've got your Fox Business Report later on. Next hour, daily dad jokes. You can send your dad jokes in now live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com. Let's do some moon or some space dad jokes in honor of Artemis 2 launching off into the great beyond there. We'll talk about that. More coming up. Stay tuned. Back with your Fox Business Report right after this.
Hello, Placer County. The weather is here. The ground is soaking it up, so we need to add some fertilizer and get some seed down. The babies and the mamas need feed and bedding, and that means you need to come on by to Placer Farm Supply. They've got what you need. And by the way, if you didn't get that jacket or coat you wanted for Christmas, stop on by and pick it up. In other words, if you need it, they've got it. And if they don't have it, just ask, and they will do their best to get it for you. Customer service is their #1 goal. We're local, and you are our neighbor. Placer Farm Supply, the best kept secret. Stop on by and say hi.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
President Trump says he's still seeking a diplomatic end to the conflict in Iran, but bound to hit Iran extremely hard in coming weeks. Investors see uncertainty ahead. Stock futures are sharply lower. Crude oil prices are higher. As SpaceX prepares to go public, expected by July, the Financial Times says Amazon is in talks to acquire satellite company Globalstar and boost its Wi-Fi service from space. However, Apple owns a 20% stake in Globalstar and could prevent a sale to Amazon. Shake Shack is looking to boost business with its first ever loyalty program. It will use artificial intelligence. The company says it will be able to personalize offers and communicate directly with customers. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosilda. Invested in you.
Yeah, military life can have its challenges, but sometimes veteran life brings more. While serving in Iraq, an IED took both my legs, but it didn't take my spirit.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My name is Greg Gadsden, 26-year Army veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
DAV helps veterans like me get all the benefits they've earned, and that can be a life changer.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm an entrepreneur, photographer, and public speaker.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won. With the right support, there are no limits.
My victory is just being the best that I can be.
Greg Gadsden, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
15 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:15 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Roseville. Currently 49 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 64 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. How about this one? We'll talk about this one in a bit. A free self-guided pond tour event. This is hosted by the Camellia Koi Club of Sacramento. It's going to be on Saturday, April 25th, so a little bit later on this month from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be in the Sacramento and surrounding area. Step into a world of serenity, artistry, and natural beauty right here in the Sacramento and surrounding area. The Camellia Koi Club invites you to experience a truly special self-guided pond tour showcasing some of the region's most exquisite private ponds and koi collections. Explore at your own pace, select stops that inspire you most, and enjoy an up-close look at stunning water features, vibrant koi, and beautifully landscaped gardens. Each stop offers a unique glimpse into the passion and creativity behind living works of art. Now, registration is open. You can go to their website, camelliakoi.org. That's CAMELLIAKOI.org. To learn more, sign up, and you'll get a map there, and it'll take you all around, and you can check out these beautiful pond spaces and water features. Check it out. Again, it's going to be Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Sacramento and surrounding areas there. It's a free self-guided pond tour event. Free, you like the sound of that. Hosted again by the Camellia Koi Club of Sacramento. You can check out all these beautiful private ponds and koi collections. If that's your thing, if that's your jam, maybe you want to get some inspiration, say, yeah, looking to put a water feature in my yard. I don't even know where to start. I'm looking for some inspiration. Well, this could be the start of that. On Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Self-guided tour. You can register and get the map at CAMELLIAKOI.org. Back with more right after this.
Spring is in the air, and for a lot of us, so are the allergies. If you're tired of reaching for harsh medications, Sunrise Natural Foods has a better way to breathe easier, naturally. At Sunrise Natural Foods, you'll find a wide selection of natural allergy support, from herbal blends and plant-based tablets to gentle homeopathic remedies designed to relieve sneezing, congestion, itchy eyes, and more, without the unwanted side effects. Visit Sunrise Natural Foods today in Auburn and Roseville, or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:18 a.m. Coming up in our next segment at the bottom of the hour, sports ball. Kings played yesterday. I'll let you know the score there. Also, the Giants played yesterday as well. Lots of action happening here on KAHI. We'll let you know when both teams are playing again. The times that it's that overlap where we've got a couple of teams here on KAHI. So sports ball galore. We'll talk about that. Giants wrapped up a 3-game series with the Padres there. They're going to be heading back home facing the New York Mets. Lots going on. Local sports ball as well. We're going to head back now to JT in the morning, and I will see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
On your to-do list, putting the radio on is the first thing today.
No, I said that. I like big. No, stop. Neither of these were approved as the bumper music for this segment. That being said, too late. It is disturbing to me the pace at which the Food and Drug Administration will approve more GLP-1 medications, yet there are treatments, and this is the amazing thing to me. And let's circle back to the 413 documents that were discovered through Freedom of Information Act efforts that expose the Biden administration's efforts not to find a cure or a treatment for COVID-19, but to cover it up. If one iota of the amount of time and effort that was put into covering up and going after people who questioned the phrase safe and effective, this coming from watchdog group called Protect the Public Trust, if the amount of time and effort that was spent spinning and covering up what was going on regarding SARS-CoV-2 in the early 2020s, we might have been able to prove that, ivermectin was effective. No, instead, we had to go back and say, it's a horse dewormer. And if you brought up the fact that the doctor that created a derivative of the horse dewormer called ivermectin that was safe and effective for humans, you were canceled on YouTube. If you interviewed a doctor that treated sick people with readily available and FDA-approved medications, you were banned from YouTube, called a COVID denier. Said that you wanted babies killed by people just strafing streets with their very exhalations. Well, you even had the President of the United States go on the cable news network and announce that you don't have a right to kill me with your COVID, as if somehow we were walking around with loaded firearms, automatic firearms, assault weapons in our faces, spewing this stuff on you. Just like some mad, crazed character in a Batman movie. Do I really look like the kind of guy who has a plan? So while all this is going on, we could have spent some time, investigating. Yet no, but the FDA can show how quickly it can operate if the question is a GLP-1 shot, just approving yet more GLP-1 injections. This one from Eli Lilly. Was it called? It's called Foundeo. That sounds like a. No, that would be Pendejo, not Foundeo. But anyway, Foundeo begins shipping Monday. Isn't that good news? Can't treat COVID-19, but we've got 18,000 GLP-1 medications out on the street there. Next time, I'll do my own bumper music. Gosh darn it. Anyway, our friend James Luck is at the Jefferson Coin Shop, jcsgold.com, telling you how gold and silver do each morning, but more importantly, sitting there ready to talk to you on the phone at 434-979-COIN to tell you where you are. Take your information and then come up with a plan to help you stack the silver, or I don't know, what would the alliterative word be for grab the gold and stack the silver? James, how are you doing this morning, sir?
Yeah, grab the gold. That we could go a couple different directions with that one. I think that's a good one.
That's right, especially the way we started this segment anyway. At some point, I lost control completely. But that being said, how are gold and silver treating this Thursday morning?
Well, gold and silver had almost a breakout day yesterday. After we spoke, gold continued to rise, and silver was negative to start the day yesterday and ended the day positive to match gold, which we discussed yesterday morning. Although since last night, Trump's address to the nation, everything across the market has kind of given up those gains from yesterday. Gold is currently down about 3% to $4,616, down about $142, which just is about, the amount that it was up yesterday. Same story for silver. It's down almost 6%, down $4.30 to $70.78. It was up about 75 yesterday. So still finding some support at that key level of $70.
But as we talked a little bit about yesterday, if you go to jcsgold.com, there are charts and graphs that would make Ross Perot blush regarding where gold and silver has been versus where it is today. So it is a stunning place, but your results can vary, and that's one of the reasons I suggest you speak to a family business, because your world is different than mine. You may have more access to money to invest. You might not want to devote so much to it, but you need to devote a little to it, and these folks can help you through that because that's what they've been doing since 1961, James. So call them after 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 434-979-2646, which is COIN, 434-979-COIN. Well, enjoy the roller coaster ride, James. Keep hands and arms inside the ride until it comes to a complete stop, and we'll call you again tomorrow morning, see how things are going.
All right, sounds great, Joe. Thanks.
And, of course, you can check that anytime online at jcsgold.com.
I like big.
Stop it. Just stop, all right? Please. Now you're insulted, aren't you? You're just mad at me because I took that position on the bumper music. There had to be something else. There had to be. So Eli Lilly has a new weight loss entry. How many does that make? We got Wegovy, we got the Wegovy pill, we've got this Pendejo or Foundejo that Eli Lilly will be shipping on Monday. What? Well, no. It sounds like the word there. And there's, so the big news in the story of the Eli Lilly is they say if you have health insurance through the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, of course, if you have health insurance, it will only cost you $25 a month with the pre-approved Lilly discount card. So first you have to get health care insurance, then you have to get the Eli Lilly discount card. But if you pay cash, it's going to be $150 per month, up to $350 a month, depending on the dose you need of Foundejo, the new GLP-1. But you still can't take ivermectin for SARS-CoV-2, which people are still coming down with every now and then. Just saying.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Now, don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Would your car perform better with premium gas or regular? What do octane ratings mean? I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor, your automotive prescription, right after this.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
Today's modern vehicle, whether it's a car, SUV, or light truck, is designed with a specific fuel in mind. Read your owner's manual. What octane rating does the vehicle manufacturer call for? That's what you should use. But there are exceptions to the rule. Many high-end or luxury vehicles call for premium or higher octane fuel. And the reason for this is not just due to the octane rating. There are better fuel system cleaners in premium fuels. Gasoline companies know, too, that vehicles that run on premium won't perform as well with carbon deposits. So they pack more cleaning power into their premium fuels than their regular blend. If you rotate your fuel choices around, say, every third tank full, You may find better performance and miles per gallon because you are cleaning your engine and fuel system while you drive. Just don't tell your mechanic you're trying to replace them anytime soon. With your automotive prescription, I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor. See you next time.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd. It is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m., and it is 39 degrees right now in Grass Valley. Woo, chilly out there. Looking for a high today of 55 degrees. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it, starting on the hardwood in the NBA. Yesterday, Kings playing, well, not at home. They were playing against the Raptors. Here's what it sounded like courtside.
Pressure on the ball. Hayes over to Monk. The three, there it is.
Monk from way downtown sinks the three. That put the Kings up 2 points there in the second quarter there, and Kings go on to light the freaking beam. Oh, wait, we can't do that. They weren't playing at home, but the Kings win. We get a W there, 123 to 115. Kings playing again. They have today off, but they'll be back at home versus New Orleans at 7 p.m. on Friday. So make sure you tune in here to KAHI to hear all of the actions. So Kings with the W last night. That is awesome. Other scores around the NBA include the Pacers outpacing the Bulls 145 to 126. Rockets blast off to a win over the Bucks 119 to 113. Warriors fall to the Spurs. Spurs win that one 127 to 113, and Hawks fly away with a victory over the Magic 130 to 101 there. We'll talk about baseball yesterday. A's played the Braves. The Braves on top there 5-1. A's lose that one. Also in the L column, well, the Giants won 2 out of 3. Padres came back yesterday, beat the Giants kind of big time, 7-1. Giants play again today. They're going to be back at home after a quick flight back up here to Northern California from San Diego. They're going to be playing the New York Mets for a 4-game series, and that is starting today. That's going to be at 5:40 or 6:45 p.m. You can hear all of the action here on KAHI tonight. Giants at the Mets at home, 6:45 tonight on KAHI. Let's go to some local sports here. Got the Auburn Journal in my hot little hands. Let's talk about Hillman Fellas Volleyball. Placer Boys Volleyball outlasted Roseville in a back-and-forth 5-set battle Tuesday night using a late push in a deciding set to secure a 3-2 home victory. The Hillmen took control early with a 25-21 win in the opening set, but Roseville responded by edging out a tight 28-26 second set to even the match. Placer regained the advantage in set 3, 25-21, before the Tigers answered again with a 25-20-22 win in the fourth, forcing a winner-take-all fifth set. In the decisive fifth set, Placer delivered what mattered most, pulling away late for a 18-16 win to clinch the match. So Placer Hillman Fellas, congrats on the W there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your KAHI weather right after this.
If you like quality, let's talk Amish.
The Amish furniture craftsman starts with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into a one-of-a-kind work of art.
Amish furniture will last a lifetime, right, Nova? Yes.
Naturewood Home Furnishings offers the largest selection of surprisingly affordable Amish furniture.
With Amish, your choices are endless.
All Amish furniture is on sale. Naturewood, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
Thursday weather forecast, clouds and spotty rain showers today. There'll be some sunshine and the high temperature 55 to 62. A northwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Clearing overnight, light breezes, about 41-42 for the low. It'll be nice on Friday, mostly sunny around 70. In the 70s, Easter weekend with mostly sunny skies. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hey, Tim, 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:34 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have your KAHI news, more events for the calendar, also the California Ag Report. Next hour, daily dad jokes. You can send those in now live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. Let's make them space-related since Artemis 2 took off for the moon yesterday. Off now to JT in the morning. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Mike writes into jtinthemorningradio@gmail.com. To be fair, Joe, more Americans are afflicted with Sir Mix-a-Lot than were ever afflicted with SARS-CoV-2. And at the end of the day, it has turned out to be far more likely you're going to die from a bad case of Sir Mix-a-Lot than you were ever going to have a bad side effect of gain-of-function Tony Fauci virus. Mike, to be fair, you're right. Given our obesity problem and our issues with heart attacks and congestive heart failure and high blood pressure and all of these different stroke. Of course, there is the whole take the clot shot, have a stroke anyway. I don't know. Maybe GLP-1 shots could help blunt the onset of the clot shots. Inevitable. What do they call it? There's a medical term for what happens to you when you have the it's the Fred Sanforditis, I think it is what it's called there. And I'm not taking it light out of any other thing than to point out the hypocrisy of some of these folks and the medical procedures that they try to make a couple of bucks with. Dr. Clark is on the line with us at 434-882-4217. Good morning, Clark. What's going on?
Well, Joe, I don't want to start nothing on the radio, but I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with Mike. Nobody was afflicted by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I think he was referring to our weight gain problem and just.
Okay. No, well, okay. All right, yeah. I don't know. Depends on how you take the whole baby got back thing, I guess.
That's right. That's right. Moving forward, though.
Well, we're on it. I do appreciate lifting the song from Sweet Desolation Boulevard for the ballroom reference yesterday.
Yes. Well, Lyndon Johnson needs some credit where credit's due. There, I don't think he gets the historical reference for recording his phone calls before Richard Nixon ever tried.
And people call Trump crass. So anyway, with regards to ivermectin being used for COVID,
yeah,
I have no idea as to the efficacy there. I can't testify to that, nor as a veterinarian could I ever recommend that human beings take something, especially like a liquid cattle dewormer. It does have a propylene glycol base, which tastes terrible, but Diet Mountain Dew will get that taste out of your mouth pretty quick. So there that is.
Well, yeah, but let's be fair. There is a doctor who is currently in possession of a Nobel Prize for Science for coming up with a human application for ivermectin.
Well, the science was pretty clear how they figured that out.
But was it
we don't
settled?
Have time to go into that.
But was it settled?
Do this real quick.
Yeah.
When you start looking at all there is to look at with COVID, the fact that China would not let people travel from Wuhan to any other part of China, but they let 5 million people leave Wuhan and go to other parts of the world.
Yeah.
When you look at, we know it's a Frankenstein virus.
Yeah. Gain of function.
There's parts of this and parts of that. There's lots of COVID viruses, but this is the only one that's got an HIV spike inserted in it. Clearly, it was a designed virus. The only thing that you are left to question, really, Joe, is timing. And I think they were so desperate leading up to the 2020 election that they had to release it early. So think about if they'd have had time to put everything they planned to put in place for the release of COVID in place, what they would have achieved with it. Now, granted, getting to steal the 2020 election because mail-in voting was a pretty big deal.
Right.
I think they had other things in mind with that gain of function, Joe.
Well, there's the other side of it that doesn't necessarily take an American side of it, but points to the fact that, and if you go back and look to 2018, 2019, there were lots of economic stories about the teetering Chinese economy and the problems that Chairman Xi was having with the yuan regarding how they were valuing their currency based on property ownership and in the property values, which they decided and they manipulated, and they were having big problems. And then SARS-CoV-2 jumps the lab, and the entire global economy grinds to a halt, except for the Chinese. And I know the phrase reset is used for a lot of different applications, usually just to get somebody to click on somebody's video podcast. But I lean towards the idea that this was conveniently leaked so that China could play catch up economically with the rest of the world. We know it's a weapon, because the use of the mRNA template, vaccine template that they developed out of Dr. Malone's research is designed to have a quickly deployable vaccine ready when a pathogen is released on a battalion of soldiers in a battlefield, because the Geneva Convention has a blind spot when it comes to pathogens that just make you grievously ill and unable to fight, but comes up short of being lethal.
Well, the Billionaires Boys Club had been, I don't know, for lack of a better term, wargaming pandemic for a little while.
Doesn't there need to be a special, wing at, whatever black op prison we would send people like Hermann Goering to if he had survived Nuremberg? Because, to me, if there is, never mind waiting for the devil to have his day with these people, I can't imagine a human punishment for these kind of people that would support such a thing.
Well, let's come back to Goering in half a second. Before we move on from COVID, though, just think about when you start thinking about COVID response, notice the similarities in countries that did Build Back Better, jumped on the Green Initiative bandwagon, and then had the exact same COVID response. It's just kind of neat to look at the pattern recognition there. Now, Donald Trump made a speech last night, and you just mentioned Goering. Think about this. Think about December 10th, 1941. Roosevelt comes out and announces that we've done bombing runs. We've killed Hitler, Goering, Goebbels, Himmler, Hirohito, and taken out the emperor.
Right.
That would be not quite the equivalent of what we've achieved in Iran.
According to everyone except the New York Times. The New York Times says, no, everyone's still there. Everyone's great. Ayatollah Jr.'s on the mend. Russian, those Russian hospitals, they're known for healing leaders when they go in there. So Ayatollah Jr. will be back on his foot soon, chasing the next naval commander around the desk, and everything is great. There's nothing to see here. What bombing runs? By the way, where are the applications being taken to be the next Baghdad Bob in this, or as we like to refer to whoever is the spokesman in these cases, Tehran Terry out there saying, what bombing? We're fine. We got nukes. Yeah. We're ready to start throwing them at you.
Can you believe, with all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some areas are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? At a time when America's neighborhoods need the protection of police the most, some elected officials would rather create more chaos by playing politics. If you're sick of elected officials caving in to demands of the radical left, you're not alone. It's time we stand up and declare our support for local police. The majority of police officers are important partners in protecting our God-given rights. If you prefer freedom over chaos, then learn how you can help protect the local police that serve your community. Call today and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. Dial 800-JBS-USA-1. That's 800-JBS-USA-1. Request your free Support Your Local Police info packet by calling 800-JBS-USA-1 today.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning, Auburn. Currently 45 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 59 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. Ooh, let's talk about a tribute to ABBA, shall we? Everybody get your dancing shoes. It's not too early in the morning to start. Just get up and dance. Just move a little bit. I know you want to. Maybe you're still in bed. Maybe just start to move back and forth a little bit. Yeah, maybe you're going down the hall getting some coffee. Maybe just do a little shuffle. Maybe a little two-step down the hall. Here we go. Abracadabra, a tribute to ABBA, is happening on Sunday, April 12th. Coming up here pretty quick from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. This is going to be at Center for the Arts there in Grass Valley. That's at 314 West Main Street, again in Grass Valley. Now, sounds like it's going to be a good time. Tickets are $75 a piece, but hey, you're going to get your value for your money here. It is a unmissable, family-friendly event suitable for all ages, featuring a dynamic live band. There's nothing like live music, I got to tell you. It's definitely one of the joys of life. Stunning vocals, captivating dancers, and authentic costumes. Prepare for an interactive stage extravaganza. Yes, an extravaganza that will have you dancing, singing along, and reliving the magic of ABBA's greatest hits, including Mamma Mia, this one, Dancing Queen, there we go, Take a Chance, SOS, Waterloo, Fernando, and many more. Basically the hits there. Again, it's going to be Center for the Arts there in Grass Valley. That's at 314 West Main Street. $75 for the tickets there, but it sounds like you're in for a really good time there. It's Abracadabra. That's a clever name for a cover band there. Abracadabra, a tribute to ABBA, happening on Sunday, April 12th from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. You can get more information at gonevadacounty.com. gonevadacounty.com. Just look up Center for the Arts there. You can find that event happening. You can get your tickets calling the box office there, or just go into the website there, gonevadacounty.com. But yeah, Abracadabra, a tribute to ABBA coming to Center for the Arts on Sunday, April 12th from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Sounds like it's going to be a good time. The one time I've seen my mother-in-law dance in all of my life was at Mamma Mia, when we went and saw that show up there in Tahoe a few years back, and it was the grand finale, and I think, Dancing Queen was playing, and she was up out of her seat, as was the rest of us, all hanging out. You cannot help but dance to music like this and put a smile on your face, be in a good mood. So check it out. Again, it's happening on Sunday, April 12th, 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., Center for the Arts, 314 West Main Street there in Grass Valley. All right, we'll be back with your KAHI News right after this.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
And here's your KAHI News for Thursday, April 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Hope is not a water management strategy. California snowpack second worst in 75 years. This is from Fox 40 News. State officials measured the Sierra Nevada snowpack Wednesday, and the annual measurement showed California's snowpack stands at just 15% of its April 1st average. That's the second driest snowpack since 1950, according to snow survey manager Andy Ricing. Despite a small storm bringing snow to the region this week, he called the result, quote, disappointing, unquote. Quote, a lot of it has melted off, unquote, he said. Quote, now Mother Nature blesses us with another little joke of a storm, but here we are. At this point, we'll take anything we can get. We're not done, but the likelihood of coming storms is lower, unquote. Conditions are the worst in the northern Sierra, where the snowpack is at just 6%. It's 21% in the Central Sierra and 32% in the Southern Sierra, according to the Phillips Station survey. Very little snow was on the ground at the station, which is located at 6,800 feet of elevation. About 30% of California's fresh water supply is supplied by the snowpack. After California was declared drought-free for the first time since 2000, a relatively dry winter was followed by a major climate change-caused heat wave that brought record temperatures to much of the Golden State. Now concerns are rising that drought conditions could return. The only year with worse snowpack than 2026 was 2015, when the Sierra Nevada snowpack was just 5% of average. That year, then Governor Jerry Brown implemented mandatory water reductions requiring cities and towns to reduce water usage by 25%, saying the, quote, historic drought demands unprecedented action, unquote. Officials with the Department of Water Resources said the state has adequate reservoir storage this year. Quote, hope is not a water management strategy in California, unquote, DWR Director Carla Nemeth said Wednesday, quote, so we really need to invest in our systems so they are ready to move more water when we have wetter conditions. We need to recycle it and use it more efficiently, unquote. Man arrested after shots fired outside Rockland home. This is from Fox 40 News. Officers with the Rockland Police Department responded to reports of shots being fired in a residential neighborhood on Tuesday night. According to Rockland Police, officers were dispatched around 9:30 p.m. to the 5600 block of Casa Grande. When they arrived, they found a man outside a home firing rounds in front of the residence. The suspect was taken into custody without incident, and no injuries were reported. Authorities said the incident remains under investigation. Back with more news after this.
Are you ready to explore the unexplained, dive into the bizarre, and journey to the other side of midnight? I'm Frank Morano, your host for the most compelling late-night talk show in America. From conspiracy theories to cosmic mysteries, from politics to pop culture, we cover it all, and then some. Join me weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Don't just stay up late. Stay curious.
Advertise with KAHI Radio, the voice of the foothills, and you'll reach those who matter most. Your local customers for your local business. Here's Fred Penny of Penny & Associates to tell you why he uses KAHI Radio.
This is Fred Penny of Penny & Associate Injury Lawyers, and I choose to advertise on AM 950 KAHI Radio because it works.
So call our KAHI sales team at 530-885-5636. That's 530-885-5636 to start your local advertising today.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Hi, this is Jimmy J. Let's get together this Saturday night at 8 p.m. for the Rewind Show on KAHI, the first station in the world to ever broadcast this show. And thanks to you, boy, have we grown. If you haven't already, be sure to tune in to find out what the rest of the world is talking about. The stars you grew up with are always on Rewind. Saturday night, 8 p.m., right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950 KAHI.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Artemis 2 heads for the moon after successful launch. The 10-day NASA test flight successfully lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida at 6:35 p.m. Eastern yesterday, with 4 astronauts aboard, making the agency's first deep space crewed flight in over 50 years. Artemis 2 is expected to send its crew farther into space than any humans have gone before, potentially breaking the record of 248,655 miles set by Apollo 13. The journey will take the crew around the moon and back, but not on the lunar surface. The next attempt to land on the moon, Artemis 4, is not expected to take place until 2028. However, The Artemis II crew is scheduled to reach the vicinity of the moon on Monday. In primetime address, Trump does not provide end date for the war. In a nearly 20-minute speech last night, the president sought to explain why, quote, Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world, unquote, he said, focusing on what an, quote, intolerable threat, unquote, it would be to the global order for Iran to get a nuclear weapon. Trump said the U.S. would hit Iran, quote, extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks, unquote, which caused oil prices to rise after the address. Despite threatening to remove the U.S. from NATO earlier in the day, Trump did not mention the alliance at all in his speech, but did say that countries of the world that depend on gas shipments coming through the Strait of Hormuz ought to, quote, grab it and cherish it, unquote. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. President Trump suggested he was considering pulling the U.S. out of NATO, calling the alliance a, quote, paper tiger, unquote. Anthropic accidentally leaked its internal source code for its popular Claude Code tool. Hasbro has been hacked, and the toy maker said it might take several weeks for the company to recover from the cyber attack. And Hershey said it would go back to recipes that use more chocolate for Reese's products after the peanut butter cup inventor's grandson Brad Reese publicly complained about the cost-cutting changes, proof that sometimes complaining on social media does work. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is pedagogy, meaning the method and practice of teaching. Pedagogy. And that's your KAHI News for this Thursday, April 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
Thursday weather forecast.
It's time for California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. I am Haley Ship. California's agricultural community took center stage recently as the California Farm Bureau honored State Treasurer Fiona Ma with its Champion of Agriculture Award, celebrating a career rooted in advocacy for farmers, ranchers, and rural communities. Presented during the org's annual Legislative Action Day, the award highlights leaders who have demonstrated a strong commitment to advancing the needs of agriculture. Known as the Urban Cowgirl, Ma has long bridged urban and rural perspectives, founding the San Francisco Farm Bureau and continuing to champion policies that support California's diverse farming regions. Treasurer Ma has shown a long commitment to California agriculture, said Shannon Douglas, president of the California Farm Bureau, which represents more than 23,000 farmers and ranchers statewide. From her time in the state assembly to her current role, Ma has backed efforts that expand market access for small and underserved farmers, strengthen agricultural infrastructure, and promote California-grown products. I'm honored to receive the Champion of Agriculture Award, Ma said, noting her appreciation for the vital role farmers and ranchers play in feeding communities statewide and beyond.
At Hould Angus of Havre, Montana, you'll find cattle with maternal performance backed by the genetics and maternal integrity. It truly is a commercial cowman's program. This year's bull offering is very heavily influenced by OCC and the old Inbar emulation bloodlines. Saturday, April 4th, 70 bulls sell, including 30 yearlings and 42-year-olds plus 20 yearling heifer calves. Sale time is 1 o'clock at the ranch, 10 miles south of Havre, Montana. Also carried live on FrontierLivesale.com. For more information, visit HouldAngus.com.
California farmers know there's no margin for error when it comes to irrigation. Rising electric costs, an uncertain grid, and aging diesel engines put your yield at risk. Propane-powered irrigation engines deliver high performance with fewer emissions than diesel and reliability the electric grid can't match. Upgrade to propane and earn up to $10,000 by submitting performance data through the Propane Farm Research Program. Learn more at propane.com/farm funding.
This is California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network. Find more agricultural news at aginfo.net.
AI and scams, growing by leaps and bounds. So how do we overcome those scams? Check it out on Pop Talk this week. And the real story behind O.J. Simpson and the death of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman from an ex-boyfriend. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. She's lived in two worlds over 40 years and says we can reach a higher consciousness. Just what does that mean? And can there ever really be peace? We go in search of truth Saturday, 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday, 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Come be with us.
KAHI AM and FM is once again your Foothills home of Sacramento Kings basketball and Sharks hockey. Join Gary Gerald for every Kings game this season on FM 104.5 and 950 AM, your home of the Kings and Sharks.
20 seconds to the top of the hour, 6:59 a.m. Taking a quick break for station ID. Back with hour 2 right after this.
FM 104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee.
Here we go.
Don't hit snooze.
I've got a cup of hot water. It's good enough.
Morning with your daily news.
Ooh, feels good on the throat. Big finish. And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the Foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down. A beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds. Well, I don't know. It's nice and not a cloud in the sky. My gosh, after all of the rain that we got yesterday, boy, it was raining pretty hard yesterday, which is a welcome sight around here, especially after hearing about the snowpack there when we heard last hour in the news. My gosh, it was really great. Clear skies now, though. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to see if there's any more rain in the forecast. Fingers crossed. Listen, love it when the sun's out, but boy, do we need some more rain. So hopefully April showers. We've got more of those on our way. Again, we'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a bit. But we love to do this at the top of the hour. If today is your birthday, well, then may I say, a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Now, special birthday shout out. I reserve the right to do this because, one, my show, and two, it's my mom. Mom, happy birthday to you today. I hope you have a wonderful birthday today. My parents' anniversary also today. Yeah, they got married. I don't know if that... I'm trying to remember the story behind that. If that was intentional or it just happened to work out that day when everything was available and all the things came together. I can't remember. But anyway, happy birthday to my mom and happy anniversary to my parents today, which you think, well, yeah, two birds with one stone. There we go. Dad, you got one date to remember. Also, you've got one date to royally mess up. So he's always been good at remembering it, though. So happy birthday to my mom. Got the birthday card. Very proud of myself. I am the worst at getting birthday cards, especially if has to be any sort of runway to get it there. Like it needs to go in the mail and you need some dates in order for it to get there. After my parents moved a couple of years back to be closer to my sister, no longer within driving distance of my house now. Now I've got to be intentional about going out and actually mailing the darn thing. Very proud of myself that over a week ago, got the card out in the mail, got it there, not only bought it, wrote on it. Am I doing the bare minimum things that a son should do? Yes. Am I giving myself props for it? I absolutely am. For remembering to do this, as I am not great at it. But hopefully she got it. I'll give her a call today and see how she's doing. I thought about calling her while I'm on the air. She's 2 hours ahead of us here, and she absolutely hates when I do that. So I think as a birthday present for my mother, I will not antagonize her. I will let her enjoy her morning in peace and call her a little bit later on today, see what they've got planned for the day. Usually they like to go out for a little dinner celebration usually an Italian restaurant. We'll see if that's still the plan, if I've called it right, of what my parents are doing, of heading out, I don't know, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon to go and grab some dinner and celebrate. We'll see what they've got, but I predict that they will be going out to an Italian restaurant for dinner, but we'll see if those predictions come true. But happy birthday to you, Mom. Hope you have a great birthday today, and if it is your birthday, dear listener, well, happy birthday to you as well. If you were born today, you share a birthday with one Charlemagne, a Frankish king born on this day in 1747. Casanova Giovanni Giacomo Guillermo, anyway, he's an Italian adventurer. Let's just call him Casanova. Italian adventurer born on this day in 1725. Hans Christian Andersen, Danish novelist, short story writer, and short story writer and poet. 1805, let's see, Max Ernst, a German painter, sculptor, and poet. Born on this day, 1891. Buddy Epson, American actor and dancer. 1908. Was he in the Beverly Hillbillies? I think that was him. Wasn't he originally slated to be the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz? I think that's true as well. I could be mixing up actors here. But anyway, Buddy Epson, 1908. Sir Alec Guinness, English actor, 1914. Charles White, African-American artist, 1918. Jack Webb, American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter, 1920. Marvin Gaye, American singer, songwriter, smooth voice there, born on this day, 1939. Throwing it back to early days of, well, not early days of radio, but boy, memorable days of radio. Dr. Demento, American radio host, 1941. Leon Russell, American singer, songwriter, and a pianist, 1942. Linda Hunt, American actress, 1945. Emmylou Harris, well, she's a great singer, American singer, songwriter, 1947. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, I hope you have a fantastic day today. And again, special shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to you, Mom. Hope you have a great day today. On this day in history, back in 1513, Ponce de Leon, Spanish explorer, first sighted the coast of Florida. Well, first, besides the folks that were already there. He mistook it for another island and named it La Florida because of the lush vegetation. 1872, traveling circus is born. P.T. Barnum, the master of spectacle, opened his Great Moral Show in Brooklyn. It was the start of the massive traveling circus industry. First movie theater going back all the way to 1902, and you probably guessed it, in L.A., the Electric Theater. The first full-time movie theater in the United States opened in Los Angeles. Admission was just 10 cents for an hour-long program. My goodness gracious. And on this day in 2005, the passing of Pope John Paul II. Today is National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Love me some good peanut butter and jelly. I don't know about you. My wife says, I mentioned this last hour, my wife says that I have, I guess, a closed palate. Basically, I can eat the same thing over and over and over again and not get tired of it. And it's true. Pretty much for my entire elementary and high school career, it was always peanut butter and jelly, either peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and honey. Now, take your pick. I am a fan of them both now. Right now, probably because I ate so much of that back in the day, my body absolutely does not like peanut butter anymore, although I love it. But the reaction that I get from it... my body, I think apparently the body has a limit. The body will put a limit on something and say, listen, you reached your limit. You probably reached your limit back in 1997, but nonetheless, still a big fan of peanut butter and jelly. The average American child will eat 1,500 PB&Js before graduating high school. I absolutely 100% believe that, because I probably doubled that in my school career there. Now, the question is it Producer Adam? Is it creamy peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter? Anybody got a favorite? And is it Jiffy peanut butter or Skippy? Oh, my mom would never allow any sort of Skippy peanut butter at all. But my absolute favorite, it was like dessert going over to my grandma's house and getting the crunchy Skippy peanut butter. Oh. You just eat that right out of the jar. Didn't even need bread for that. I would just eat it. Oh, it was like dessert. It was so good. So I am definitely on Team Crunchy. I understand if you're on Team Creamy, but gross. Crunchy and grape or strawberry? Neither. Actually, I like a peanut butter and honey sandwich. I think that's one of my favorites there. But jam ain't bad as well. And the crust, definitely stay on the sandwich and definitely cut it in triangles, not rectangles. A very hard opinion on that. From that, I will not come down from that soapbox there. All right, another thing that's happening today is World Autism Awareness Day. A day to celebrate the unique perspective of those on the spectrum and focus on inclusion. It's also National Ferret Day. Kind of a weird but true here. Ferrets were actually used by the aerospace industry. I wonder who thought of this. Who was sitting around the brainstorm table thinking, hey, listen, guys, we've got a lot of cables that we need to run through a whole lot of pipes. Somebody go get a ferret. They like to burrow into tunnels. Let's see if they'll do it. Well, I don't know what it is. Put a harness on it, tie it to their leg, whatever. But a lot of folks are in the telephone and the aerospace industry use them to run cables through long pipes because they love to burrow. And it's also National Reconciliation Day, a day to patch up old grudges. So if you've got an axe to bury with somebody, definitely today would be a great excuse to do that. Now, we were talking about the aerospace industry just a second or two ago. And speaking of that, boy, yesterday was a big day. Speaking of space and getting ready to go to space, I had my timer set. I had a reminder on my calendar to tune in at about 3:30 yesterday afternoon, and it's so cool with media now. You can basically tune in everywhere. I was on YouTube, and if you did, boy, this is what you heard taking place.
RS 25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Taking off from Cape Canaveral, Florida there, the Kennedy Space Center. It was, it was a sight to see, and it was very, very exciting to see. And, thinking about back to the Apollo, well, I don't remember the Apollo moon missions because I wasn't born then, but all of the footage that I've watched of those Apollo rockets launching and now to see Artemis 2 launching off there, it was very, very cool. Now, I don't know if anybody else does that, but with gritted teeth and kind of clenched fists a little bit, hearkening back to when we were watching, especially for me, and turns out for my wife, I played this for the family at night. I replayed it there for the family, and my wife's like, "Oh, actually, I don't know. I all of a sudden I'm getting some big feelings here." Thinking about when we were kids watching the Challenger lift off, and unfortunately the explosion there. She's like, "I am actually not a fan of watching this liftoff. I think there's too many big feelings coming back about that." So I said, "Well, I definitely understand that." I said, "Hon, I've watched it. I saw that they made it all the way through there, and it actually is quite the spectacular sight to see." My 15-year-old was there sitting with us, and I said, "Okay, now listen for when they call out the speeds of how fast this rocket is going." It was about a 7 to 15 minute video there of watching the rocket, and the first speed that they called out was 1,500 miles an hour. And he's like, "All right, 1,500 miles an hour." And they said, "Okay, now they're calling out 2,500 miles an hour." The next time they called out a speed of how fast that rocket was going, it was going 15,000 miles an hour. That's how fast that thing was going. Of course, the higher you get up, a little bit faster, you can go with less resistance there. But man, that sucker was moving. So my son, I was looking at his wide eyes there as he was watching the rocket blast off and seeing how fast it was going. So definitely very, very cool.
Down to 85% ahead of solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark.
So definitely a reflection of the shuttle era when this one, unlike the Apollo, had rocket boosters on the side of it. So if you didn't have a chance to see it, you can go on YouTube and just look up NASA, just search for NASA, and it's all on the page there, and you can watch the replay of it. I highly recommend it. Actually, a friend of mine who lives in Florida, she posted on Facebook yesterday. She lives in Tampa, and recorded. She put up video that she took of the spacecraft launching there. And I'm trying to remember, I thought Tampa was on the other side of the state, but boy, you could see that thing just shooting off into the sky. And I messaged her. I said, wait a minute, were you there, or is this from just where you live in Tampa? And she's like, it was just right from where I live, watching it take off into the sky there. So apparently, if you were in Florida or around Florida yesterday, boy, you saw that sucker launch off into the sky. And boy, what a sight that must have been. So if I could do one thing, actually, I wish I could have been there. We'll have to make that a bucket list thing to go and watch one of these rockets launch, because I'm sure being there and feeling the impact, how that hits your chest. I don't know. I'm a bit of a space nerd here. So very, very cool. History being made right now. A little bit later this hour, well, what's on their schedule? We'll see what they're got scheduled for today. They haven't taken off for the moon just yet, so we'll see what the astronauts have there in their schedule for today. Also, a little bit later coming on, daily dad jokes. We've got those coming up, so stay tuned here. And if you want to put those in now, you can. You can email live at KAHI.com, LIVE at KAHI.com, or call 530-885-3565. Do whatever you want, but also, if you want to keep to a theme, we're doing space-related dad jokes today, just in honor of Artemis 2 launching off towards the moon on their 10-day mission there. You can send in some space dad jokes. Also, using your dogs as billboards. What is that like? We got a guy who got pretty creative. Turns out he was able to quit his job just because of a fun little idea that he had with his dogs that kind of took off and went a little bit viral there. Also, a little bit later on this hour, we've got some sweet news, but also sour as well, as there was a bit of a heist, a candy heist right before Easter of some chocolate that has disappeared. They're still looking for it. And also top Easter candy. I don't know if I would have guessed in a million years what the most popular Easter candy is in California, but I verified it through a couple of sources. You'll be shocked. I don't know if you'll be shocked, but we'll talk about that as well. Lots coming up here. We've got our Fox Business Report coming up here in just a little bit, and next hour, Sean Rebay, Auburn City Manager, will be in here as well to chat with us. So as you can see, our dance card is definitely full for today. But before we get to all of that, meteorologist Tim Root, he has been waiting very patiently on the sidelines. All right, Timmy, how's our weather looking out there for this Thursday?
Thursday weather forecast, clouds and spotty rain showers today. There'll be some sunshine, and the high temperature 55 to 62, a northwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Clearing overnight, light breezes, about 41, 42 for the low. It'll be nice on Friday, mostly sunny around 70. In the 70s, Easter weekend with mostly sunny skies. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 16 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:16 a.m. When we come back, we'll have our Fox Business Report. Also, Nike in a bit of hot water there. They're trying to make their sales there. Before we get into the Fox Business Report, we'll talk about that business. Lots more coming up. Stay tuned. Back right after this.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8. Here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here. I was asked to remind you to tune in to Chris in the Morning on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. But you're already tuned in, aren't you? I can tell. You get a gold star. Honestly, this is the easiest promo I've ever recorded. Chris in the Morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. and streaming on KAHI.com. Now, where did I put those gold stars?
What would it be like to live in two worlds? Let's find out how one woman did for over 40 years. Hi, Mary Jane Pop here. Do we know the full truth about the Nicole Simpson murder? Well, got an update. Reaching for peace seems like it's beyond reach, or is it? And scams, AI, and you, how to deal. We go in search of truth on Pop Talk, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. Click on Listen, and let's talk and get the real truth.
Hi, I'm Martha Barnett.
And I'm Grant Barrett.
We're hosts of A Way with Words, a weekly show about language.
We take your calls from anywhere in the country.
And from outside the country, too.
About anything and everything related to communication.
It's a show about speaking and writing and why we say the things we do.
It's also a show about history, family, and culture.
Satisfy your linguistic curiosity Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd, and it is 19 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:19 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently, the temperature is 41 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 56 degrees. Now, before we get to the Fox Business Report here, we'll talk about businessy things here in just a little bit. I came across this article in the Morning Brew this morning, and oh my gosh, Nike, this major brand. Always you think about these brands that are staples in your life, and you're like, they're not going anywhere, and maybe they're not going anywhere, but like a lot of companies, kind of struggling right now. I thought this was pretty interesting. They just can't do it in China is the title of the article here. Nike's turnaround has hit a huge wall. As we heard, they were struggling, and they got this new CEO to try and turn things around. It hit a huge wall in China that's anything but great for the shareholders. The company's earnings call this week revealed that sales in China fell for the 7th consecutive quarter, and that they're expected to remain weak for the rest of the year. Basically, CEO Elliott Hill was brought on by the board in 2024 to return Nike to its glory days by refocusing the brand on sports. Yeah, that seems to be the running shoe there. Boy, there's a great movie chronicling the start of Nike. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It really, really good. And of course, obviously, such a powerhouse in the shoe industry. Some progress has been made as revenue in North America grew for the second straight quarter, but overseas, problems had the CEO, Hill, venting in an all-hands meeting that, quote, "I'm so tired, and I know you are too, of talking about fixing this business," unquote, according to Bloomberg. In China, consumers are pulling back as they look for bargains during tough economic times, but other foreign brands aren't being hit as hard as Nike. Nike CFO Matthew Friend blamed the conflict in the Middle East as a disruptor to the shopping patterns in the region, as well as in Europe and Africa. Nike also cited U.S. tariffs eating into the company's bottom line. And taking a look at the look ahead, the company is expecting continued growth in North America and plans to offer long-term guidance to investors this fall. So yeah, these companies, I don't know. It's interesting as I read these different things. I know that the world events and different things that shape what's going on affect the investors and how things are invested. But you think about these huge brands, these huge companies, and they're like, well, no, they're fine. They'll be great. They've got a lot of supply. They've got a lot of inventory there. Well, it turns out even big folks like Nike there are trying to turn things around. And it just makes me realize just how brands like we've got that we think that are here local, how much of a global market it really is. I don't know. I guess I don't stop to think about that as often as maybe I should, of how we're all tied together. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Nike and see how they're doing there. But speaking of business and all of those other things, let's turn it over now, as we do, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened sharply lower. The major averages are all down more than 1%. ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Conoco shares all opened higher. Delta, American, United, Southwest, and JetBlue shares all down more than 4%. Investors are bracing for the uncertainty on the Iran situation. President Trump says he's still seeking a diplomatic end to the conflict, but otherwise will hit Iran extremely hard in coming weeks. Car sales slumped for most brands in the first quarter. GM's declined nearly 10%. GM shares opened down more than 2%. Toyota sales were down slightly. Tesla deliveries were down 14% in the first quarter from a year ago, and Tesla shares are down 3%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Every year, dozens of first responders and police are injured or killed while assisting motorists on the side of busy highways. And hundreds of people are killed changing tires or stopping for other reasons. Most drivers are unaware that the law in all 50 states says that when you see flashing lights, you're required to slow down and move to the next lane. Failing to obey these laws can result in fines and criminal charges if someone is injured. So if you see a police car, ambulance, tow truck, fire truck, or any emergency vehicle on the side of the road, slow down to at least 20 miles per hour below the speed limit and move to the next lane. And if you think you need to pull over to the side of the road, do so only if it's an emergency, and never pull over to the median side of the highway. Park as far from the highway as possible, turn on your hazard lights, make sure all passengers get out of the vehicle, and light flares if you have them. And don't risk your life trying to change a flat tire on a dangerous highway. Carefully drive to the nearest exit. To learn more, visit nationalpolice.org.
24 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:24 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar here. What are we talking about? We're talking about the Auburn Spring Fest. That is coming up on May 16th. That's going to be from 4 to 9 p.m. It's going to be in downtown Auburn. Auburn Spring Fest is a vibrant celebration of community and creativity featuring a high-energy skateboard demo. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. Local art, live music, kids' activities, food trucks, craft beer, unique vendors, and more. It's a perfect day out for all ages in the heart of downtown Auburn. Yeah, so Auburn Spring Fest happening on May 16th from 4 to 9 p.m. Plenty of time to get it on the calendar. If you want to learn a little bit more about it, got questions about it, maybe you want to be a vendor there, you can contact the event organizers at eventsauburnca@gmail.com. That's eventsauburnca@gmail.com. But you're just like, hey, looking for something to do. Want to get out there, want to stroll around, want to enjoy a nice spring day? Well, Auburn Spring Fest is coming again on May 16th from 4 to 9 p.m. downtown Auburn. Again, it's a vibrant celebration of community and creativity featuring a high-energy skateboard demo, local art, live music, kids' activities, food trucks, craft beer, unique vendors, and more. A perfect day out for all ages in the heart of downtown Auburn. So go and check it out. All right, coming up in our next bit here, we'll have your daily dad jokes coming up here in just a little bit. Jessica, I see that dad joke sitting there in the inbox. Thanks so much for sending that in. We'll get to that here in just a bit. Also, using your dogs for billboard space, I don't know, it's pretty creative. Also, we'll get into some top Easter candies as well. What's the top candy for California? I don't think that you would guess this. If you've got guesses, let me know. Live at KAHI. I wouldn't have gotten this in a million years. Also, 3 headlines and a lie. 3 headlines absolutely true. 1 headline absolutely made up. We'll see if Sean Rebay can guess which one is the fake one along with you when we have that coming up here in just a little bit. Back with more right after this.
Runners, to your mark. Set.
Some may see a sprinter. At the NFHS, we see a future leader already off to the races. Some may see a volleyball player.
Good hit! Way to go, girls! Woo!
At the NFHS, we see a spike in confidence that will help her achieve her potential. What else do we see? Musicians learning to march to their own beat. We're the NFHS, the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and activities in America, helping today's teenagers develop the skills they need to become tomorrow's leaders. And we see it happening in communities across California every single day. Learn more about the NFHS commitment to youth at nfhs.org. This message presented by the NFHS, the National Federation of State High School Associations.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd, 27 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:27 a.m. Speaking of April 2nd, another shout out to my mom for her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you're having a great day today, if by chance you're listening. All right, let's get back to this. Here we go. I came across this this article from the Washington Post. Title is, "He joked about turning his dogs into billboards. Turns out now business is booming." You just never know where you're going to find, in this day and age of being able to share things online, becoming, I don't know, quote unquote influencer, or just having people just be attracted to your content. And who's not attracted to a couple of cute dogs? Well, this guy saw a business opportunity and he jumped on it. It's kind of interesting. Here we go. From the Washington Post, it was supposed to be a joke. Dawson Gunn posted a video of his 2 black Labrador retrievers known as Stink and Bink with pieces of paper taped to their backs. The mostly blank white sheets read, Your ad here, your spelling you being spelled you are, in plain text. In the video, the dogs furiously wag their tails as Gunn says in a voiceover, "We have ad space available. You can place your ads right on Stinky or the Binky. Stinky is $20 per spot. Binky is $15 per spot." The caption reads, "DM if you're interested." So this guy kind of jokingly put the post out there. And it turns out, boy, oh boy, howdy, were people interested. Quote, it was like potentially over 1,000 requests, unquote, Gunn told the Washington Post. Quote, "I can't even scroll through them all." So basically, how did this guy get that kind of interest? Well, he started out by he noticed that his dogs did really cute things, and he basically just started his Instagram account by posting videos of his dogs just doing cute things. Why not? I enjoy little dogs. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe somebody needs a smile for the day to see these two they're black Labrador retrievers. They look like they're well-fed black lab retrievers, and people latched on. They started following him. His account, Two Cute Labs, TOO. He's got two labs, but the account is two, TOO, Cute Labs. Started as a creative outlet for the many videos he took of his dogs doing adorable things. As he started to get some money, he monetized the account. He basically the account was satirizing the concept of making money off of his dog. So he's like, hilarious that I could make money off of this. He regularly buys them gold chains with his earnings and posts videos of them decked out in their new bling. But since I love this too. This guy, I don't know. If he's not in marketing, he should think about a career in marketing here. He started offering his lab-vertisements. That was pretty good. Lab-vertisements. His business has reached a new level. He's even made enough to quit his job bartending at a local brewery. Now, some of the advertisers buying ad space on his dogs are just individuals or small businesses. They share birthday wishes and shout-outs. A candidate running for the Board of Education in Prince George's County, Maryland, bought an ad, and so did a man who paid to put his resume on Bink, saying in a comment that he thought it would be just unhinged enough to get some traction with potential employers. Look, hey, creativity, man. Extra bonus points for being creative. Larger brands are also getting in on the action. Quote, "It's a cheap trick, but dogs work," unquote, said Laura Kay, head of social media for Booking.com, the first large brand to advertise on the dogs. Booking as a brand, we like, quote, "Booking as a brand, we like to think we don't take ourselves very seriously. We like to be in on the joke, so it just felt right," unquote. In the Bookings.com ad, Stink and Bink are decked out with the company's logo, wiggling around excitedly and rolling over for belly rubs. And at one point, Bink rolls onto her back, crumpling the ads, hence why the ad space on her back is cheaper. Gunn joked in a voiceover. Quote, "Clearly, these dogs are loved," unquote, Kay said, and quote, "We wanted to be a part of that." That was also the appeal for Jacob Costa, a high school senior in Ohio who, in an ad, asked his girlfriend to the prom. Jacob, again, bonus points, my guy, for being creative there. Bink had a minor surgery recently and was wearing a cone, which temporarily unlocked new advertising space. That's where the promposal went, reading, quote, "Vivian, Stink and Bink think you should go to the prom with Jake." And yes, she did say yes. So props to this guy. What's his name again? Dawson Gunn, for saying, hey, look, this is fun. People apparently enjoy the dogs. They like the little puppers here. So I'm going to make a business out of it. And apparently he's doing well enough that he was able to quit his job there and make a little bit of money. Basically what he does is he just puts the advertisements on the dog. He just prints it out on pieces of paper and just has it attached to the dogs there in a safe way. And one person got mad because the dog rolled over because part of the video is giving the dog belly rubs, and he refunded her immediately. But a lot of the people are saying that, well, that's part of the fun is watching the dogs just be dogs. And yeah, the advertisement gets a little crumpled, a little messed up, but that's the fun of watching the little puppers be puppers. So we've got a new dog in our house. My son got a German Shepherd. Husky mix here. She's got one blue eye. She's got one dark eye and one just brilliantly blue eye. Now I've got some ideas. How do we start having this dog earn its keep? I don't know. Well, maybe we'll have her do cute, adorable puppy things, and just basically just how she looks at you. That's just enough to make you go, oh. So I might be a little biased though. Here we go. 33 minutes past the top of the hour. 7:33 a.m. Taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our daily dad jokes right after this.
Come in. Oh, great master, I have traveled far to seek your wisdom. Speak to me.
Close the door. It's cold.
Sir, I crave the meaning of life.
How do you earn your bread, my son?
Well,
do you till the soil?
No.
Do you tend sheep?
I'm in advertising, sir.
Advertising. Fascinating.
Yes, sir, I'm in a big hurry. I have to be in Fiji tomorrow to shoot a television commercial.
Fiji?
Yeah, we found a place there that looks exactly like Columbus, Ohio.
Why not go to Columbus, Ohio?
Look, I'm just here for some wisdom.
All right, let me check my wisdom book, see what we can
thank
find.
you. Yeah.
Go with radio.
What?
Looks to me like a fantastic buy.
I wanted important wisdom.
This is important. Listen, newspaper cost per thousand is up 99% since 1967. TV is up 90%,
sir.
But radio cost is only up 38%.
38%.
And it says radio's audience is bigger than ever.
But what about happiness and stuff?
Use radio. It's great impact at a price you can still afford, and you'll be very happy.
That's it?
Yeah. And when you go out, close the door real tight, because it's cold in here and I got a runny nose.
Next time you're talking to an authority on advertising, ask about radio. It's right on the button. A message from the Radio Advertising Bureau.
And good Thursday morning to you, April 2nd. And hey, good morning to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently 43 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 58 degrees. All right, it's that time. It's time for your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh, I don't know, roll your eyes. We'll see what we got here. Jessica sent one in. Jessica, thanks for sending this one in to live@kahi.com. Got it here. Here we go. A cheese sandwich walks into a bar. The bar owner says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." Okay. I have to admit, I had to read that one a couple of times before I got it. A little slow on the uptake this morning. Here we go. A cheese sandwich walks into a bar. The bar owner says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." Because the cheese sandwich is food, producer Adam. Yeah, we got it there. Jessica, thanks for sending that one in. Yeah, made me think about it for a little bit, but yeah, that's a solid dad joke there. Appreciate that. How about this one? What do parents feed an infant if they want them to grow up to be a race driver? What do they feed their infant if they want them to grow up to be a race driver? I think we've had this one before. Formula One. There we go. My son would enjoy that one, being a Formula One fan, as did I. All right, in honor of the Artemis 2 being launched yesterday, let's get in a few space jokes here before we wrap up this daily dad joke section here. Let's see. My kid is obsessed with the moon. I'm hoping it's just a phase. There we go. How about this one? What do astronauts listen to on the radio? What do they listen to on the radio? Neptunes. There we go. And what will they call the first interstellar currency? What will they call the first interstellar currency? Starbucks. Clever. Oh, here, one more. Speaking of money, why does the moon need money? It's on its last quarter. There we go. And those are your daily dad jokes for this Thursday, April 2nd. Jessica, thanks for sending yours in. You can also do the same. Be like Jessica. You can send it in live at kahi.com or call 530-885-3565. All right, taking a quick break. When we come back, the Great Candy Heist. Oh, what's going on? Some candy has just disappeared. Also, what's our favorite Easter candy here in California and around the country? We'll talk about that. And why Peeps? Why do people even like Peeps? Holy cow, my wife is one of those people. We'll talk about that. Stay tuned. Back right after this.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
Thursday weather forecast, clouds and spotty rain showers today. There'll be some sunshine and the high temperature 55 to 62, a northwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Clearing overnight, light breezes, about 41-42 for the low. It'll be nice on Friday, mostly sunny around 70. In the 70s, Easter weekend with mostly sunny skies. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
22 minutes to the top of the hour. It is 7:38 a.m. All right, let's get right on it here. Do we have any heist music? Well, this isn't necessarily heist music, but all right, it's close enough. We'll let it do for now. Thanks, producer Adam, for getting it ready to go here. Well, somebody's not going to be getting their chocolate fix here if they're looking for Kit Kats specifically. Have you heard about this? This Kit Kat heist. I heard about it yesterday, and I thought it was an April Fool's joke. And apparently some major brands like Domino's Pizza was clowning Kit Kat online on April Fool's Day. But no, this is actually a real thing. The Kit Kat heist. Apparently somebody had a craving or thought that they could benefit greatly from this. Although they might have a hard time pushing this on secondary markets if that is their plan. But here we go. Here's what happened. Forget the Italian Job. This is the Italian break. Basically, on March 26th, a little heist happened. Let's see. The Hall thieves hijacked a transport truck carrying 12 metric tons of chocolate. That's a lot of chocolate. And that's probably a big old truck there. What happened, it's exactly 413,793 Kit Kat bars have vanished. Just vanished. Nobody knows where this has gone. The truck was in transit from a production facility in central Italy and was headed for distribution in Poland when it went missing. So a lot of folks in Poland maybe not getting their chocolate fix here. Now, this wasn't just any standard inventory. The shipment reportedly contained a new limited edition line of Formula One race car-shaped Kit Kats created to celebrate a new global partnership with the sport. Again, we just had a Formula One, coincidentally enough, their dad joke. I got to tell my son about this because both he and I are big fans of Formula One. So we'd love to get our hands on some of those Kit Kat bars. Nestle has confirmed that every bar has a unique batch code. They are monitoring secondary markets and have told consumers that if they find these race car bars on unofficial channels, where are you buying your candy? On unofficial channels? How does that even happen? Where is that even happening is what I want to know. There's some sort of black market for Kit Kat bars? Maybe that it is, and I'm just not tuned into that, and I'm okay with that. Basically, if they find these bars on unofficial channels, they can scan the code to alert the company. Now, here's the thing. I would say, what do I want as a reward from the company? You can go ahead and have the bar. Eat it. Enjoy. It's great. As of this morning, the truck, the driver, and nearly 500,000 chocolate bars are still unaccounted for. So there we go. They're still looking for those missing, 413,000 chocolate bars out there. Now, this kind of made me think, like, what are the kind of greatest vehicle transportation heists in history here? Well, there was in 1963, the Great Train Robbery. What happened was a gang in the UK tampered with track signals to stop a Royal Mail train. They got away with 2.6 million pounds. That's about $60 million today in small bills. That's a lot of small bills. The Lufthansa heist in 1978. Made famous by the movie Goodfellas, armed gunmen took over a Ford van at JFK Airport containing $5 million in cash and $875,000 in jewelry from a cargo flight there. How about this one? The nutty Canadian maple syrup heist. Oh, man. If that's a heist that I would want to be a part of, I think that would be one of the ones I would want to be a part of. I love me some good syrup. Thieves spent months siphoning off 3,000 tons of maple syrup from the Global Strategic Reserve in Quebec. The value, $18 million Canadian. So, listen, Fellas, I got an idea. It involves syrup. It might be a sticky situation, but I think we can do it. $18 million. There's a lot of money in syrup there. The Brinks Matte Gold Heist. This was in 1983. 6 robbers broke into a warehouse near Heathrow thinking they'd find cash. Instead, they found 3 tons of gold bullion. It took them hours to find enough trucks to carry it all. My goodness gracious. And this is a great one. Also, this one might be on my list. I think anything food-related might be on my list. The Florida Parmesan heist in 2015. A truck driver in Florida was supposed to deliver $160,000 worth of grated Parmesan cheese. He and the cheese simply vanished. To this day, it's one of the most famous cold cases in food logistics. So apparently, guys said, nah. I'm just going to keep it for myself. And there we go. And of course, in Florida, the Florida Parmesan heist there. So that made me think here of looking at candy. Came across an article about the most popular candies here in the U.S. According to different states here. Now, a lot of states on the West Coast, I think Oregon, they like the Starburst jelly beans is one. But here in California, producer Adam, any guesses what the most famous or the most popular Easter candy here in California is? You'll never get it. It's Jordan almonds. That's right. I don't remember. I think it's the yogurt covered ones. I think those are the things that we get at weddings there. Apparently, for Easter candy, the latest consumer data, California's top Easter candy isn't chocolate, it's Jordan almonds. While they rank near the bottom in national popularity, California is one of only 6 states where these candy-coated almonds take the top spot. I don't know. People have some ideas about that. Let's see. Jelly beans, specifically the Starburst variety, remain a high performer across the western part of the U.S. Peeps, still the most searched candy in the region, even if sales don't always match the curiosity. So folks absolutely like the Peeps. And I have never understood that. I have never understood the appeal of those Peeps candy. Do you like those? My wife, she will get a couple packages every year. And she does a thing that I thought was absolutely insane, and I thought that she only did. But apparently this is a known thing here. Now, they were born in 1953 when a Just Born candy company bought the Rhoda Candy Company. At the time, it took 27 hours to make a single marshmallow chick by hand with a pastry tube. Today, thanks to automation, it takes only 6 minutes. The factory in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania pumps out enough Peeps in a single year to circle the earth twice. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a stomach ache reading this right now. I don't know how you people that like these things eat these things. The eyes have it for years. The eyes were hand painted. Now they're inked on by a machine, but the company still produces over 5 million marshmallow shapes a day during peak season. That's 5 million too many, in my opinion. Scientists at Emory University famously tried to dissolve Peeps in everything from sulfuric acid to sodium hydroxide. The Peeps resisted almost everything. Only a specific solvent, phenol, could break them down. And apparently our stomachs can break them down, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. They're visually, now there is a lot of nostalgia. I asked producer Adam to look at this of why in the world do people buy these things? Well, nostalgia. They are visual part of Easter basket. Easter basket doesn't look finished without the neon yellow glow. Now, there is a massive subculture. I did not know this until today. I'm today years old that I learned this, that I thought my wife was so weird for doing this, that fans that purposely open the package to let them sit for 24 hours to get crunchy. I thought, yeah, hun, you are just, and again, isn't that the joy of your spouse, where you just find out all these things that you didn't know, and now it's just a thing? Where, yes, there is a whole subculture. Purposely open the package to let them sit for 24 hours to get quote-unquote crunchy. She loves doing this. Oh, I don't get it at all. And finally, peep jousting. Have you heard of this? I would be on board for this. They're the premier candy for science experiments. Maybe if you want to try something with the kids and the grandkiddos and have them go, whoa. Put 2 in a microwave with toothpicks pointed at each other. The first one to expand and, quote, poke the other wins. So if you're looking for an Easter holiday treat there, maybe around Easter dinner, conversation gets a little bit slow, take a couple of Peeps, stick some toothpicks in them, put them in the microwave. It doesn't say how long to microwave them for. That's where the experiment comes in, and see if they'll start jousting there. So there you go, peeps. If you're one of those people, I don't get it. My wife is one of those people. This is how we learn to take the oddities that are our spouses and live with them and just say, I celebrate you for the unique person that you are. All right, 12 minutes to the top of the hour. Quick break. When we come back, we'll have our KAHI News up next.
Here's Fred Penny with Penny & Associates.
When you or a family member have been injured in an accident, what should you look for in a personal injury lawyer? The first thing is an experienced personal injury law firm that is actually taking cases to trial. Hi, I'm Frederick Penny, managing partner and founder of Penny & Associate Injury Lawyers. For over 30 years, Penny & Associate Injury Lawyers has been successfully representing individuals and their families. At Penny & Associates, we're experienced trial lawyers, and we work with you to get the best results.
Go to pennyandassociates.com or call 800-616-4529.
And here's your KAHI News for Thursday, April 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Hope is not a water management strategy. California snowpack second worst in 75 years. This is from Fox 40 News. State officials measured the Sierra Nevada snowpack Wednesday, and the annual measurement showed California's snowpack stands at just 15% of its April 1st average. That's the second driest snowpack since 1950, according to Snow Survey Manager Andy Rising. Despite a small storm bringing snow to the region this week, he called the result, quote, disappointing, unquote. A lot of it has melted off, unquote, he said. Now, quote, Mother Nature blesses us with another little joke of a storm, but here we are. At this point, we'll take anything we can get. We're not done, but the likelihood of coming storms is lower, unquote. Conditions are the worst in the northern Sierra, where the snowpack is at just 6%. It's 21% in the central Sierra and 32% in the southern Sierra, according to the Phillips Station survey. Very little snow was on the ground at the station, which is located at 6,800 feet of elevation. About 30% of California's fresh water is supplied by the snowpack. After California was declared drought-free for the first time since 2000, a relatively dry winter was followed by a major climate change-caused heat wave that brought record temperatures to much of the Golden State. Now concerns are rising that drought conditions could return. The only year with a worse snowpack than 2026 was 2015, when the Sierra Nevada snowpack was just 5% of average. That year, then Governor Jerry Brown implemented mandatory water reductions, requiring cities and towns to reduce water usage by 25%, saying the, quote, historic drought demands unprecedented action, unquote. Officials with the Department of Water Resources said the state has adequate reservoir storage this year. Quote, hope is not a water management strategy in California, unquote, DWR Director Carla Nemeth said Wednesday. Quote, so we really need to invest in our systems so they are ready to move more water when we have wetter conditions. We need to recycle it and use it more efficiently, unquote. Man arrested after shots fired outside Rockland home. This is also from Fox 40 News. Officers with the Rockland Police Department responded to reports of shots being fired in a residential neighborhood on Tuesday night. According to Rockland Police, officers were dispatched around 9:30 p.m. to the 5600 block of Casa Grande. When they arrived, they found a man outside a home firing rounds in front of the residence. The suspect was taken into custody without incident, and no injuries were reported. Authorities said the incident remains under investigation. Back with more news after this.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's with quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
Spring is in the air, and for a lot of us, so are the allergies. If you're tired of reaching for harsh medications, Sunrise Natural Foods has a better way to breathe easier. Naturally, at Sunrise Natural Foods, you'll find a wide selection of natural allergy support, from herbal blends and plant-based tablets to gentle homeopathic remedies designed to relieve sneezing, congestion, itchy eyes, and more, without the unwanted side effects. Visit Sunrise Natural Foods today in Auburn and Roseville, or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net.
This is Jana from Jana Johnston Photography. I advertise on KAHI Radio because it helps me reach people throughout the foothills who are looking for the best pictures to capture their memories that will last a lifetime. Whether it's a wedding, engagement, graduation, or celebrating a newborn, KAHI Radio connects me with my target audience like only radio can. Thanks, KAHI.
To advertise your business on KAHI Radio, contact the KAHI sales staff at 530-885-5636 today.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew. Artemis 2 heads for the moon after successful launch. The 10-day NASA test flight successfully lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday with 4 astronauts aboard, marking the agency's first deep space crewed flight in over 50 years. Artemis 2 is expected to send its crew farther into space than any humans have gone before, potentially breaking the record of 248,655 miles set by Apollo 13. The journey will take the crew around the moon and back, but not on the lunar surface. The next attempt to land on the moon, Artemis 4, is not expected to take place until 2028. However, the Artemis 2 crew is scheduled to reach the vicinity of the moon on Monday. In primetime address, Trump does not provide end date for war. In a nearly 20-minute speech last night, the president sought to explain why, quote, Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world, unquote, he said, focusing on what an quote, intolerable threat, unquote, it would be to the global order for Iran to get a nuclear weapon. Trump said the U.S. would hit Iran, quote, extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks, unquote, which caused oil prices to rise after the address. Despite threatening to remove the U.S. from NATO earlier in the day, Trump did not mention the alliance at all in his speech, but did say that countries of the world that depend on gas shipments coming through the Strait of Hormuz ought to, quote, grab it and cherish it, unquote. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. President Trump suggested he was considering pulling the U.S. out of NATO, calling the alliance a, quote, paper tiger, unquote. Anthropic accidentally leaked its internal source code for its popular Claude Code tool. Hasbro has been hacked, and the toy maker said that it might take several weeks for the company to recover from the cyber attack. And Hershey said it would go back to recipes that use more chocolate for Reese's products after the peanut butter cup inventor's grandson, Brad Reese, publicly complained about the cost-cutting changes, proof that sometimes complaining on social media does work. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is pedagogy, meaning the method and practice of teaching. Pedagogy. And that's your KAHI News for this Thursday, April 2nd. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
This program is supported in part by the Hearts of Space Archive Service. If you just can't get enough Hearts of Space Sunday evenings at 8 here on KAHI, visit the Hearts of Space Archive Service anytime on the web at HOS.com. Hearts of Space, slow music for fast times.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here. I've been asked to let you know that Chris in the Morning is the best way to start your day. I was not given any additional talking points beyond that, so I will also mention it airs Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., right here on FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills, and streaming at KAHI.com. That is all I was given. The man hosts a 3-hour talk show for a living. And yet, have a good morning, everyone.
And yeah, 3 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:57 a.m. All right, before we finish out the hour here, let's get to 3 headlines and a line. Now we're going to put it out there, and then we'll have Sean Rebay. He's going to be here in just a little bit to help us guess which he thinks is the fake headline. But you, dear listener, can play at home as well. Help us spot the fake news here. First headline is Austin coffee shop names trash cans after landlords to shame them about rent increases. All right. Headline number 2, heirs to the Bic pen fortune seek painting. They say chauffeur stole. Headline number 3, he joked about turning his dogs into billboards. Business is booming. And headline number 4, 3 women yanked off a plane, arrested at Miami airport after refusing to pay extra baggage fee there. So if you've been paying attention, you know at least one of those headlines is true. Here, let me read them again for you. And then we'll pay this off next hour here when we've got Sean Rebay here. Here we go. Austin coffee shop names trash cans after the landlords to shame them about rent increases. Headline number 2 here, heirs to the Bic pen fortune seek painting. They say chauffeur stole. Number 3, he joked about turning his dogs into billboards. Business is booming. And number 4, 3 women yanked off of the plane, arrested at Miami airport after refusing to pay extra baggage fee. So there are our 4 headlines, 3 of them true, 1 of them absolutely fake news. Your job, dear listener, is to guess which one is the fake news, and we'll see if Sean Rebay can guess that as well here. Taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll come back with hour number 3 right after this.
Be sure to listen to The Garden Goddesses, Saturday mornings at 8, right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
And this is Cindy from The Garden Goddesses. Thanks for being a loyal listener, and please join us every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 on KAHI, the Voice of the Foothills, and we will teach you all we know about gardening.
I've learned so much myself, and I've only been here a few months. You can learn so much on their show. It is the ultimate gardening show.
Absolutely. So join us every Saturday morning from 8 to 9.
Right here on the Voice of the Foothills.
FM 104.5 K283CM Auburn and AM 950 KAHI Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light on KAHI. Your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two with a dad joke, fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze.
Here we go.
Chris in the morning with your daily news.
And good Thursday morning to you. It is April 2nd, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the Voice of the Foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down a beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds. Well, it's a beautiful day out there. Not a cloud, at least from where I'm sitting, that I can see in the sky. Boy, after the rain, especially yesterday. Boy, it was coming down hard yesterday. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to find out what our weather is looking like for today. And again, if we're nice, maybe he'll let us know a couple of days as we're heading into this Easter weekend here. And just starting, what is it? Today's Monday, Thursday for those that celebrate. So lots going on here. Again, we'll check and see if there's any more rain in the forecast. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Come on, let's have those April showers be plentiful this year. We definitely need it after reading that last article there about the snowpack in California being, the worst. One of the worst here. So we could definitely use some more. So hopefully we'll be getting some more here in the future, but we'll check on that here in just a little bit. But as we love to do at the top of the hour, if today is your birthday, and a shout out to my mama, shout out to my mother. Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you have a fantastic day today. Also, my parents' anniversary today. Yes, they got married on my mom's birthday. I can't remember the story around that. If that was intentional or it just happened to work out that day, I don't know. I can't remember, but I wasn't there. But happy birthday to my mom, and happy anniversary to my parents today. I predict. Now, My mom hates it when I do this, so I'm not going to call her live on the air because she absolutely cannot stand that. She's one that just prefers to be behind the scenes. She is not an upfront person at all. So your birthday wish, Mom, I will not call you and kind of ambush you and put you on the air here. But I will call a little bit later on today. My prediction is that they're going to be going out to an Italian restaurant for her birthday and for the anniversary. We'll see. We'll see if that's true or not. So happy birthday to you, Mom, if you were born today, along with my mom. You share a birthday with Charlemagne, Frankish king born in 747. Casanova, Italian adventurer, 1725. Hans Christian Andersen, Danish novelist, a short story writer, and poet, 1805. Emily Zola, French naturalist, 1840. Buddy Epson, American actor and dancer, 1908. Sir Alec Guinness, English actor, 1914. Charles White, African-American artist, 1918. Jack Webb, American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter, 1920. Marvin Gaye, American singer and songwriter, smooth voice. Marvin Gaye, 1939. Going back in some earlier radio days, Dr. Demento, American radio host. I remember him. I never got into his brand of radio, but I definitely remember that he was a thing. 1941, let's see, Leon Russell, American singer-songwriter, pianist, 1942. Emmylou Harris, American singer-songwriter. Boy, she's great. 1947. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Now, yesterday was a big day in history, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but some things that happened on this day in history. In 1513, Ponce de Leon, a Spanish explorer, first sighted the coast of Florida. First, besides the ones that were already there. He mistook it for another island and named it La Florida because of the lush vegetation and because it was the Easter season. In 1872, the traveling circus is born. P.T. Barnum, the master of spectacle, opened his Great Moral Show in Brooklyn, the start of the massive traveling circus industry. The first movie theater popped up. Well, it didn't pop up. It was already there and became a thing in 1902. The Electric Theater, the first full-time movie theater in the United States, opened in, you guessed it, L.A. Admission was just 10 cents for an hour-long program. And on this day in 2005, Pope John Paul II passed away. Today is also National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Love me a good peanut butter and jelly. If you missed this last hour, it's estimated that the average American child eats 1,500 PB&Js before graduating high school. I probably doubled that. I loved me some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Oh, peanut butter and honey, it was the best. Definitely crunchy peanut butter. And definitely the crust stays on, and definitely cut in triangles, and you cannot convince me otherwise. It's also World Autism Awareness Day. It's a day to celebrate the unique perspectives of those on the spectrum and focus on inclusion. And today is National Ferret Day. Ferrets were actually used, here's a fun fact for you, by the aerospace industry and telephone companies to run cables through long pipes because they love to burrow. I would have loved to have been at that meeting where the first person suggested that. Like, okay, guys, I got an idea. We got to run those wires a really long way down that pipe. Go with me on this. How about a ferret? Do you have a ferret? No, but I know where we could get one. Right? And then that's how it probably took off from there. And it's National Reconciliation Day. Patch up old grudges. If you've got any axe to bury with anyone, maybe today's the day where you pick up the phone or send a text message and maybe start fresh and start anew. But speaking of the aerospace industry there, big day yesterday in space news. I don't know if you watched it. I had my alarm set for 3:30 yesterday afternoon.
4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Boy, was it exciting to see, not having been around for any of those Apollo launches. It was great to see one of those giant old rockets taken off. This one looking like the Apollo rocket, but also had two booster, if you recall back to the Challenger or the shuttle days there. Now, speaking of the Challenger, did have a little bit of gritted teeth, clenched fists saying, oh, good, I hope nothing happens. Well, everything went perfectly according to plan there, and it looks like it's going to be okay. Now, the crew is up there. They're doing their thing. And did a little bit of research this morning because I was super interested on, are they on their way to the moon? Are they not on their way to the moon? Let's see. Later today, the crew's going to execute a translunar injection, or a TLI burn. Now, I remember listening to all those and watching all of those documentaries on the Apollo missions. I definitely remember that being a phrase. That's a thing. This is the engine firing that officially kicks them out of Earth's orbit and slingshots them towards the moon. If this burn doesn't go perfectly, they don't go to the moon. Now, here we go. If I think this is a good thing. If you're still close to home, I think they would still go on and they would find a way, one way or the other. Now, there's four people up in this spacecraft. I believe it's 3 men and 1 woman that are up there. A lot of firsts that are going to be happening in this mission to the moon. Ground teams are currently monitoring a minor issue reported last night with the Orion's, of anything that's going to go wrong. The Orion's space toilet. There's a fan malfunction. Now, what exactly that fan does, I'm sure it's important. I'm sure all the pieces of the toilet there are important. Christina Koch has been working with Mission Control to troubleshoot it. And a kind of a reminder there that even a multi-billion-dollar spacecraft, plumbing still matters. And proximity operations. Before they head to the moon, the crew will use the upper stage of the rocket for a target practice session, testing how well they can manually maneuver the Orion capsule in space there. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. If you were stuck for 10 days in space with 3 coworkers and the toilet started acting up, is that a go no go for you to go on a mission like that? I'm sure they've trained for all, and one thing about now, they always have redundancies and backup systems. But definitely right now they're trying to figure that out. They are in high Earth orbit. They spent the night in getting used to 0 Gs there as they go on their 10-day thing. And again, today they're supposed to do the translunar injection, or TLI burn, that will then send them off to the moon. All right, 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:10 a.m. Let's turn it over now to meteorologist Tim Root to see what our weather is looking like today. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Thursday weather forecast, clouds and spotty rain showers today. There'll be some sunshine and the high temperature 55 to 62. A northwest wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Clearing overnight, light breezes, about 41-42 for the low. It'll be nice on Friday, mostly sunny around 70. In the 70s, Easter weekend with mostly sunny skies. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. Again, 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:10 a.m. Gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, grad school, is it worth it? Survey says. We'll check on that right after this. Also coming up here in just a little bit, I see him right outside the window here. Auburn City Manager Sean Rebay, looking a little cash today. Walking in, we'll check in with him, see what's going on with the city, see if he can help us discover which one of our headlines is the fake headline. Stay tuned, lots more coming up. We'll be back right after this.
San Francisco Giants baseball is on the voice of the foothills, KAHI, AM and FM.
And this is hit high and deep and out of here.
Into the bleachers, a 2-run homer, 4-0 Giants. The throw to first, it's high, pulling the first baseman off the bag, and there's nobody at the plate. Jung-Hoo Lee very alertly sprints home to score the run.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT.
11 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:11 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Nevada City. Currently, the temperature right now, 41 degrees, looking for a high today of 55 degrees. Now I've got an article here, but apparently the phone's ringing, so let's see who we got here. Good morning, you're on the radio. Who's this?
Hi, this is Karen W.
Hi, Karen, how are you?
Hi. Can you repeat something you said?
Yeah, for sure.
About what the national day was. Was it National Forgiveness Day?
Oh, well, great question there. National Reconciliation Day is today.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
I thought of somebody, and I thought, that would be great to break the ice that way.
Karen, I love you saying that. That's one thing where I kind of think about these days, and sometimes these days are silly, but sometimes these days are a great reminder of like, you know what? There's somebody that I need to reach out to. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's fantastic. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You too. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Oh, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Oh, well, that's so cool. That's awesome. City Manager Sean Rebay here. Anybody you need to bury the old axe with there? And
you never know. You never, maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes I've actually known some folks where like somebody had a problem with them and they had no idea. And sometimes they say, the person who's damaged the most is you for holding on to that grudge. And other people are like, I don't know, I'm just going along with my life.
I'm not a big grudge holder.
Yeah. Well, you strike me as not a person that's lets it go. We call it Elsa in my house.
Yeah,
just let it go. Before we get here to the Fox Business Report, real quick here, we're looking at in the Morning Brew this morning. And they were saying, is grad school worth it? Survey says, well, it depends. Did you do any post-grad work there at all? Any graduate work?
I have a master's degree.
Do you? Oh, no big deal. All right, there we go. Is it business administration or something like that?
Public policy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Well, it turns out here, according to the Morning Brew, while graduate degrees in medicine, law, and pharmacy have high returns on investments, I visited some friends over the weekend. Their daughter is an 8th grader, and this gal has it planned out. She says, I'm going to go into pharmacy. She's like, you graduate, you start making $160,000 base salary. And I'm like, I believe it. That's a lot of school.
Yeah.
That's a lot of school, but definitely she's got her eye on that. Secondary degrees in fields including social work and psychology can actually yield negative returns, according to a new study released this week by the Post-Secondary Education and Economics Research Center at American University. Didn't know that existed until today. Researchers examined income before and after grad school for 800,000 students who attended public universities in Texas between 1992 and 2019. Boy, that's a long study. They factored in the cost of programs and how much pay they missed out on by being in school. Adjusted returns for individuals with a pharmacy doctorate earned 68% more, while those who graduate with a graduate degree on clinical psychology had a 5% return on investment. I was actually at I was working at the location at the time. I was doing sound and media and all that type of stuff. And it was actually a pharmacy school. It was their graduation.
Oh, yeah.
Their keynote speaker, their guest speaker, Al Bean. Al Bean, Apollo 12.
Right.
He was the 4th man to walk on the moon.
Wow.
So he was there. So he sat right next to me, and I was running his slideshow and his presentation. So he was very exact, but he's an artist. So after NASA, he created artwork. He would use his boot from his spacesuit to actually put boot imprints in his paintings. So he'd do paintings from like the lunar surface and recalling that. And also he would use the axe that they would use to like chip rocks. He would create lines in his paintings. So basically he used his tools.
Yeah.
And he said that somebody that worked at NASA there, the gold basically shielding that they had on the Lunar Explorer there, they sent him pieces of that. So he worked in flecks of gold into his painting as well. It was a super cool guy. Boy, he was fun to talk to. Ended up getting my picture with him and got one of his prints that he autographed for me, which I hold on to that today. So yeah. Anyway, so pharmacy school. Listen, you get an astronaut to be your commencement speaker. That was actually
sounds good to me.
Very, very, very cool.
I'm surprised that psychology does not pay and it's a negative.
That's what I thought as well. Apparently, I don't know, because my son wants to go into that field. My oldest wants to go into that field. So
better show him this article.
Boy, well, think about it. But it does say lists show only post-degree can be deceiving as the cost of attending graduate school has ballooned in recent decades. The researchers acknowledge that some people choose to pursue grad school for reasons other than pay bumps, like getting a special certification, building out their networks, or longing to use the word pedagogy more, which is our word of the day for teaching. So again, it depends. It does say though, here you'll love this. MBA earners earned a 13% adjusted return on average. So cheers to you and your postgraduate degrees there. So that is very, very cool. So we learned a little bit about something about that. All right, we're going to hear the Fox Business Report. And when we come back, we'll be back with Sean Rebay right after this.
I'm Elizabeth MacDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened sharply lower. The major averages are all down more than 1%. ExxonMobil, Chevron, and Conoco shares all opened higher. Delta, American, United, Southwest, and JetBlue shares all down more than 4%. Investors are bracing for the uncertainty on the Iran situation. President Trump says he's still seeking a diplomatic end to the conflict, but otherwise will hit Iran extremely hard in coming weeks. Car sales slumped for most brands in the first quarter. GM's declined nearly 10%. GM shares opened down more than 2%. Toyota sales were down slightly. Tesla deliveries were down 14% in the first quarter from a year ago, and Tesla shares are down 3%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
I love California. I love the mountains. I love the sunsets. I love the foothills. Oh, speaking of which, join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. for Rewind, featuring the stars you grew up with. Oh, by the way, my name is Jimmy J. We've been doing this for a long time. If you haven't heard the show yet, check it out. This Saturday, 8 p.m., Rewind on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
18 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:18 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently, the temperature is 45 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 57 degrees. Well, we heard his voice here. Has a master's degree. Sean Rebay is here. Sean, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
We learn something new more and more about you every time that you're here. Yeah. So what was it? Public policy?
Public policy. Master's in public policy.
Well, definitely makes sense where you're at. I'm sure it's something that you put to use all the time. Now, are you one of those people that put it in the title there? Is it part of your title? I think I would. I don't know.
I don't do that.
You put all that work in there?
I don't do that. I know people there. I know some people that have like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole new line on your business card. And I don't know.
It is interesting because my full-time job during the day, we work with financial advisors. So a lot of certification is important, that especially if you're managing people's money. I'm guessing you want people to know that you kind of know what you're doing and that you've got all the certifications and all of that thing. A friend of mine does have his MBA, and he says, sometimes you put it on there because with certain people it gives you certain sway and it lends some credibility. But I'm kind of with you of I guess I would use it, but I don't know. I'd be on the fence with that. All right, here we go. Let's do real quick before we get into it. You know what we've got tuned up here for you. Whoa, that's coming in a little bit hot. 3 headlines and a lie, Sean. 3 of these headlines absolutely true. One of these absolutely made up. Now, you probably weren't listening earlier, so there is one that is a give me because I covered it a little bit earlier, and I'll let you know which one that is. Here we go. First headline, Austin coffee shop names trash cans after landlords to shame them about rent increases.
I like it.
Right? Number 2, heirs to the Bic pen fortune seek painting they say a chauffeur stole. Headline number 3, he joked about turning his dogs into billboards. Business is now booming. That is true. I covered that story a little bit earlier, so we can mark that one as true. Right. And number 4, 3 women yanked off a plane, arrested at Miami airport after refusing to pay extra baggage fee. Ooh, dramatic. Here we go. All right. Of course, in Florida. Okay, anyway, here we go. Headline number 1, Austin coffee shop names trash cans after landlords to shame them about rent increases. Here we go. Number 2, heirs to the Bic pen fortune seek painting they say chauffeur stole. Number 3, he joked about turning his dogs into billboards. Business is booming. And number 4, 3 women yanked off a plane, arrested at Miami airport after refusing to pay extra baggage fee.
So I would think that if you are going to be naming a trash can after your landlord, not the best way to stay in the building.
Right.
So I'm going to say that was the fake one.
You got it.
Did I?
That's
it.
The
first time I've done it.
You nailed it. Well done. Yeah, that was. Right. I wanted that one to be true.
Yes,
I was like, come on, that's got to be true.
Yeah.
No, that is the fake headline. Yeah, the stolen painting, the Bic pen fortune, or heirs to the Bic pen fortune, true. The guy, we covered him about turning his dogs into billboards. He basically spun up this Instagram channel because my dogs do cute things.
Yeah.
And as a joke, he said he put blank pieces of paper and it said your ad here, and people took him up on it.
Wow.
Like Bookings.com got him, and other people did. And then, yeah, these ladies refused to pay the extra baggage fee, and they had some special bracelets put on them, and they were escorted out of the Miami.
Yikes.
Because, well, they were trying to go into like an unauthorized area as well. Apparently, I don't know. They were determined to get on that plane.
It's like one of the Mimosa crew. Or
I think it might have been the Mimosa crew. There,
so my dog has an Instagram channel. I was talking about the dog.
That's right.
So
you mentioned that.
French Bulldog.
Yeah.
One of his videos has 14 million views.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
It's been shared, and then like the share has like 30 million views or something.
Holy
Crazy.
bananas.
Yeah.
What? See, again, learning.
Zero
NBA,
money from that.
I was going to say, how do you monetize that right there?
Somebody reached out to license it, but I wouldn't get any money from the licensing. I'm like, how does that? What's the point of that?
Yeah.
What do I get? So you're getting the money, but I don't get the money.
Yeah, but we could work out a bit of a deal there. But that's amazing. I'm going to have to follow your dog on Instagram now.
Rolly the French Bulldog.
Okay, so now what was it? Just a fun thing, a little side creative thing to do?
So we take him to the blessing of the animals at St. Peter and Paul Church down in Rockland, right?
Okay.
And so the deacon was doing the water, blessing him, and he does not apparently like water being splashed on him.
Okay.
So he went after the deacon. Not a good luck with a bunch of other dogs around.
Oh my gosh. Is that the one that went viral?
That's the one that went, yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow, holy cow! There we go. Viral. You've got a viral dog there that
I get no money from.
That is absolutely, other than just bragging rights and saying I have a video that has 14 million views and made 14 million people smile apparently, and then 30 million on top of that. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, I'll have to check that out. All right, well, Sean is here. Sean, good to see you.
Nice seeing you.
It's been a bit of a minute, and now that we are kind of on a every other week schedule with the Meddler meeting, the Chamber of Commerce meeting, got some updates for us here for the city.
Yeah, so the vault just opened up, so that's right next door over here. The Barcade, Brianna.
That's
and
officially
Dallas
open.
Creek. Officially open.
Okay.
They opened on last week on Friday.
Okay.
A little bit of a bumpy start, I think, at the beginning with some stuff, but it seems like it's kind of cruising now. So that opened on Friday, and then we just got like a bunch of different restaurants and stuff that have opened up. So we got that. We got Hillmont Remedy up the road.
Yep.
On Upper Lincoln, we got the Oak House, which is in the old White House across the street from the courthouse. On Maple Street.
Is that a? It sounds like a steak place. That's a steakhouse,
and it's very very good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then like the cool thing about all these, like those three especially, are all locally owned by people who have also done other things in the community, so they're continuing to reinvest in our town.
Yeah. Remind me again,
really
when somebody spends $1 locally, how is that magnified?
It circulates at least 3 to 5 times. At least 3 to 5 times.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the big thing is spending money at the people who support your community, right? So you're supporting the people who support you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there's another one my wife and I tried out, not a sponsor of the show, wouldn't mind if they wanted to be, Sake Sushi.
Yeah.
Actually, that used to be where Tap and Vine originally was there, by right below Milo and the bank right over there. That's a great spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you tried it out yet.
Yeah, I haven't been in there yet.
Yeah, it's very reasonably priced as well. We were surprised by when we got our bill at the end, like, oh, that's actually pretty good, and it's really good sushi. So,
I've heard.
I'm not a sushi person, John. I'm not really a fishy person, but my wife got the yellowtail something. It was delightful.
Really?
So highly recommend that. Well, that's very cool. Now with the vault, what all do they have going on there? Because you guys did a little bit of a holiday party.
Yeah, we had
there,
our
didn't
Christmas
you?
party there when they were first.
Did they have everything out there, or what all? Because is there like an upstairs and a downstairs?
Yeah, there's an upstairs.
As well?
So they have most of it going. But they were still like working stuff out. So it's video games, pinball, all that stuff. Duck pin bowling.
Okay.
Which is like, it looks like a regular bowling lane, but like shrunk down to half size.
Okay.
Super fun.
Yeah.
The ball, like you can just hold it in one hand and throw it. So it's really
nice.
fun. A bar, and then they've got some light food.
Okay.
And then eventually, I think they're going to get some kind of an outdoor kitchen to cook more stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw them do a lot of work there on the outside, making it looks like some outdoor space. Really, really great idea what they're doing with that building.
So that whole side that faces here, it has roll-up doors, kind of garage doors.
Yeah.
And then the other side also has a roll-up door with a patio on it. So you got like this wind blowing through there, and it's really nice.
Okay, I was walking on the what are we in? We're on Lincoln right here, or High Street. Anyway, I think on the High Street side there. It looked like this medieval door that they've got, an escape room that they've got going on there as well. Like really classy kind of entrance to go on there.
Second floor has an escape room separate from the vault.
Okay.
So they're leasing space to it, but
they
have
Oh, interesting.
2 or 3 rooms open now. They're going to have like 5, I think, altogether.
Have
you ever done that?
Yeah.
I've never done it.
I was just going to ask you the same thing. I have. I've done it one time. Did it with a group of friends. There was about 5 or 6 of us in there, and it is helpful. But yeah, I'm not quite the puzzler there. I was the exploratory type, so I was just like I wanted to open all the little drawers and everything like that, and do all that. And then I left it to the smart people to kind of put the clues together. But it was a lot of fun, and we did it. We got out in time. But this particular one that we went to, the mom was running it, and actually it was all designed and put together by her kids who were at college. And this escape room was to like help raise money for them to go to college.
Neat.
And it was
cool.
I thought it was really, really cool. Like they designed all of the tricks and the clues and how to get out. And it was very, very clever.
That's great.
So like come back on the summer and then have mom run your escape room while you're at school.
Yeah.
So
funny.
super creative.
Yeah,
Well, that's great. Well,
yeah.
lots of stuff to do here.
Yeah.
Now, as we're gearing up, I know we've got the, what do we have? Like not Hot August night. I'm trying to think of what.
Cruise night.
Cruise night. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. That's going to be coming up as well. Anything that we need to know about that or any
just
prep that's happening?
on those days, Fridays, right? Make sure to, if you're going to go, find parking kind of early.
Yeah.
And the streets get closed down early also to make sure that there's enough room. So if you've got something to do on Upper Lincoln, make sure to do that in the morning.
Get it there in the morning. Great. Do the businesses report back? Do they stay open? A lot of them stay open. Do they take advantage of that time? Or
some of them do. Most of them don't. I think the restaurants will for sure. The other businesses tend to not stay open.
Yeah.
Which I think might be a missed opportunity because you've got thousands of people going by your business. And
I wondered about that. Yeah, we did that when the Hillmont had first opened and it was still cruise night there. And they said it's going to be, I mean, this was beginning of the open. They said it was going to be a 2-hour wait or something like that. And we're like, great, I'm going to go look at all the cars and walk up and down and just text me when you got it ready to go. And it was fantastic. It was really nice. So a great opportunity to do that. That's a good reminder here. Cruise for a Cause is going to be happening on Saturday, May 23rd. That's going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. here on Lincoln Way in Auburn. So if you want a car in there, 1975 or older, you can go there. Car registration begins at 8 a.m. You can pre-register your car at ForgottenSoldiersProgram.com. $25 fee there, but if you want to get your car in there, all goes to a great program there, the Forgotten Soldiers Program, mental health for veterans and first responders, PTSD, PTSI, and suicide prevention. So that's happening, Cruise for a Cause, on Saturday, May 23rd. So just a heads up on that. Food trucks, music vendors are going to be out there as well. So lots of stuff going on. That's very cool. How are the things going at the city? Any other big things going on here?
Starting to gear up on budget. Get that stuff kind of ready to go. And so there's like this kind of lull period, like around Christmas time. Things really pick up around January to start doing budget stuff.
Yeah.
And really kind of going to high gear around now. So
all the glamorous things, it's
really not. Really not.
Now, if you had to pick out a favorite part of the job for you, what is the real highlights for you when it comes to?
I think like I go and talk to people and do stuff. Speaking all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah,
it's not like a natural thing for me. So it's a little bit of like comfort zone or whatever. But I really enjoy doing that. Being able to meet people and then the other thing that's really good, that's really neat about my job is like like somebody comes in with an idea to do something, we help them like move forward and get it done, and then go to like the opening of it, right? So you can see things that you're doing and how they impact the community, as opposed to just talking about it and nothing ever happens.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Now, as you're talking to folks, is there any common themes that you're hearing from folks as you're talking to them, as you're getting out there, especially from business owners, or anything that, especially as we're transitioning now into summer and spring and all that, outlooks?
I think that the perennial kind of complaints are vacant businesses, so vacant buildings. Storefronts that are vacant, which is a continual problem in Old Town and downtown. Certain buildings, and so we're doing whatever we can do to kind of push that forward with looking at code enforcement cases and try to basically force building owners to do something. So that's one, and then the other one is parking, and a lot of complaints about not having enough parking. But if you look at a Google Street View, or not Street View, but a Google Maps view, and count parking spaces, we actually have a lot of parking. It's not right in front of the business where people want to go sometimes. And certainly in Old Town, there are times of the day where we have parking issues. Downtown I don't think is impacted as people think.
There's a few nights I've been down here, and yeah, you kind of feel like, boy, you got to kind of know where some of these spots are off on the beaten path, because it's not exactly right in front where you probably want to park, but you can definitely don't share where those parking spots are. We kind of want to keep those quiet, but it's been hopping, and I think about things like when we had the Porch Fest, and being down here it was people everywhere. It was amazing. So any plans for something like that to continue on?
Porch Fest is coming back this year.
It is. Okay.
They'll be doing it again.
Boy, if you missed that last year, boy, that was a good time. And even just around here, downtown, but then all around surrounding areas around here, boy, that was a good time. So definitely have folks come and check that out.
There's been talk about expanding it. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that this year or not, to actually add more porches.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it or not this year. We're also trying to figure out, is there a way to close some of the streets off where there's a denser amount of the performances happening, because we don't want to, cars and pedestrian conflicts and all that stuff. So.
Really good stuff. Well, great to hear that. Now, you're talking about businesses here. We'll close on this, and then any last thing that you'd like to say. Are there people that want to get? Is there a line of people to get into these businesses, and it's just hard to get them in there to rent, or is it just we actually need to do some recruiting to get folks?
We don't really have a major problem getting businesses here, because there are people that want to move here and open up businesses. It's that a lot of the buildings that we have are older and they need ADA improvements, so that's part of the problem, especially with Old Town. Downtown, we just have a couple of specific property owners that tend to not want to do something.
There's a few that come to mind that, the big bright signs that we probably know who they are. But hopefully we can kind of encourage those along. Sean, anything as we're in the final minute here?
Big thing coming up. So April 23rd through the 26th is the Canyons race. So the 100-mile race that's in Central Square. So make sure to come down and cheer those people on.
Yeah, that's great. It's really fun to see them start, and they end here in right in downtown here. So that's very cool. Yeah, if you've not been, really great to cheer those folks on as they're finishing here. All right, 34 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:34 a.m. Quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up right after this.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
The American Cancer Society Discovery Shop needs your donations of new and gently used merchandise. Items include clothing, jewelry, bric-a-brac, home decor, and more. Donations are tax deductible and support cancer patients locally and nationwide. They also need volunteers daily. The Discovery Shop is located at 2376 Grass Valley Highway in Auburn. For more information, call 530-888-7434.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's. With quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
Serves those who have served our country, offering help for veterans, their families, and those currently serving. For more than 10 years, nonprofit Victory Village has served all of the Sierra Foothill counties. Visit our office in Jackson or Auburn for financial assistance, help with housing, and wraparound services to aid the transition to civilian life. If you need help, to volunteer, or to learn more, visit vvvets.org.
35 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:35 a.m. Gang, that is going to do it for today. My thanks to Auburn City Manager Sean Rabe for coming in and chilling with us for a little bit, talking about what's going on in the city of Auburn. Also, way to go. Props to him for guessing our fake headline. He spotted the fake news today, and also his dog, who has like 14 million views on Instagram. Absolutely incredible. Lots going on. All right, until we see each other again early tomorrow morning, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Again, if today is your birthday, and a special shout out to my mom, to her, happy birthday today. I hope you have a fantastic birthday. We'll see you early tomorrow morning. Back now to JT in the morning, already in progress here on FM 104.5 AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills.
A debate going on the city council floor between I think his name is Ted Barham and the mayor of Dearborn, Abdullah Mahmoud.
He said, "Blessed are the peacemakers," and his death at the hands of Jewish people
opens the door to peace between Jewish and non-Jewish people. So that's what I would like to actively try to encourage to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Byram. Sure. If you'd like to step forward.
I think the only comment I'm going to make, is not looking for a rebuttal, is the best suggestion I have for you is to not drive on Warren Avenue, or to close your eyes while you're doing it. His name is up there, and I spoke at a ceremony celebrating it because he's done a lot for this community. And I think it's quite hypocritical to know that you're approaching this podium when you yourself have videos on YouTube standing in front of my mosque saying the cruelest of things about Muslims, about the religion of Islam, because you are a bigot and you are.
So what face does bigotry have? What face does it have? And is bigotry in any name? So let's just say I only want to associate with radio people, and I'll only take phone calls from other radio people. We'll only interview other radio people because they're the only people that I view as with any authority over the discussions of the world, or some such crazy idea. Well, I wouldn't get very far in the world. And here is where theocracy and governance stop, is that you cannot punish someone else for having a different viewpoint. You can punish them for taking an action that inhibits your right to live freely. And this is what we've lost in this country. I think we've lost it. We've lost the ability to say, in part and parcel, my friend, the prosecutor who was tasking me earlier about my thoughts on this, the George Soros progressive prosecutors won't arrest you for stealing, won't arrest you for committing an assault, won't arrest people for theft. They won't deport people even after they commit rapes, regardless of their religion. And so when we say, I want your religion to be outlawed, how about we go back to outlawing, or at least treating as if it was illegal, things like stealing from one another? And yes, there are adherents, and there are those who teach the idea that if the infidel owns something, it's an abomination and it should be stolen. To deny that is lunacy as well. We need to support the folks like Zuhdi Jasser who are out there. Do we have the clip? This is just from a few weeks ago. Dr. Jasser answering some questions. We need to get him back on. It's hard because he's in Arizona and the time zone's changed, and now he's running for Congress there. You'd think that'd be easier, right? But the time zones and all that. But Dr. Jasser, on the question of these people like Hamoud who have been elected to mayorships and using that position to make Christianity seem like the outlaw faith.
So ultimately, there is a pietistic Islam, which is the personal belief between a Muslim and their faith and God. And actually, if you look at the Quran, my father translated the Quran over 10 years of work, and you can even tell there's passages where God is talking to Muslims directly about his message, and then there's others that are more historical. There's no doubt that the historical passages have to be relegated to history and cannot be really brought into modernity, such as polygamy, and other types of passages that really talk about battles that existed, etc. And one of the toughest parts of separating mosque and state is the fact that the Prophet Muhammad had multiple hats. He was the head of state, he was the head of a military, and we believe as Muslims he was given the word of God. So ultimately, when my wife and I talk to our children about the values that we believe to share with the Judeo-Christian tradition, it's about character, morality, the Ten Commandments, the belief in the sanctity of God and of our marriage and our family, the value of the nuclear family, and the importance of honesty and humility and generosity and charity. So all of these principles are pietistic in nature. Prayer to God, the fact that there's no intermediaries between an individual and God. And then there's sort of the public face of the faith, which really is what needs deep-seated reform and is less pietistic and more political. So political Islam has to do with the Islamic State, the identity, when it involves where the Quran is not just a personal book, but becomes the Constitution.
So it's it's the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, AIFdemocracy.org. And I think to have a fair telling, we have gone through periods where all of these religions have been on the borderline of government. And one of the reasons Jefferson and Madison and the founding fathers wanted to put up the firewall between church and state, between mosque and state, between temple and state, was first and foremost because many states had based their corruptions around the idea that they had the divine authority of God, and therefore you should look the other way to their corruptions. But the other direction, the flow works both ways, and the faith gets corrupted as well by the Godhead becoming the king. And so, one of the things that the United States tried to do, and one of the reasons that many people hate the United States, is that we try to keep that from happening. That you need to elect people of good conscience that aren't going to use the power of government against the citizens. And if they do, we need to stop them, and we need to use every legal necessary pathway forward. Agree, disagree. Some people say that's a fool's errand.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems and their solutions. For example,
diesel fuel cetane levels.
In many states, the cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts. Due to a cleaner burn, there are less hydrocarbons and particulate matter in your exhaust. This reduces the blockage of your diesel particulate filter. Using Diesel Extreme generates 83% less DPF regeneration. The 6-in-1 Diesel Extreme formula also includes the most concentrated detergent on the market, lubricity enhancer, water demulsifier, rust and corrosion inhibitors, and a fuel stabilizer.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret.